Hello, YouTube. I am the almighty Super Ultra Instant Rose King Cody here. Welcome to my stream. We're gonna watch Raid Zero Season 3 news. About Raid Zero Season 3. Um, we're gonna watch the Sword Online video, the new Sword Online video game trailer, and watching Raid Zero videos of some of the characters and their ranks and the characters and some characters and stuff. So yeah, let's get started. Before we get started, let me share this stream out. Give me a couple minutes, y'all. Copy link. Okay. All right. Let's start. First off, to begin this stream, we're gonna start with the new Sword Online video game trailer. By the way, the trailer looks very interesting. I'm definitely gonna get the game when it comes out. Hopefully I'll have a job by then. I can only hope. Let's just watch the trailer for us.
ここにいる人々のために剣を振るいたい。たとえどんなことがあっても。
But this trailer looks pretty good, man.
実践をしていないのでは。私の動きについてこられますか。
言ったな。
すごい連携技ですね。コツはいりますが、慣れて成功すると爽快です。
俺たちデコボコだけど、いい仲間に慣れてるよね。
自慢じゃないですが、私たち冒険には慣れてるんですよ。まだやるの？ちょっと休憩しましょう。
剣士としての強さも立ち向かう勇気。
You know what? I just came with a good idea. Besides playing Jump Force and, eventually other video games like Dragon Ball Fighters and Star Wars Battlefront, I have the Sword Online video game. I have one of them. I'm gonna get more in time, but maybe I'll stream playing some Sword Online video games. But first, I need to rank up my character in that game before I even think about streaming it, because I need to get my character powered up and just get to certain missions I need to do. But yeah, that will be coming eventually down the line. Sword Online. I really hope there's going to be a season 5 in the future. Hopefully. I hear they might be a season 5. What's up, my friend? How you doing? You know, when it comes to video games and all that stuff, they do a very good job with everything and stuff. Like, look how clean that game looks. Looks very clean. I'm doing good, thank you. And I'm glad they put Alice in this game. Yeah, Alice is my favorite character in Sword Online. The best character. I think she's the best character. I like other characters too, but she's still good. Look how clean that freaking video game looks. It looks actually like the anime thing. The graphics and all that looks nice. When I get the game, I don't even care if it's in Japanese or English. I'll still play it. I play Fortnite in Japanese. That looks... Oh, that must be a new character, because I know they add new characters to the video games, but when it comes to the anime, they have not added every character. My English is not very good. Yeah, that's why some people prefer to do games in Japanese or watch English. I mean, watch anime in Japanese. But here's the thing: I can watch anime in Japanese. I can watch it in English. It doesn't care which one I watch. I watch mostly English because I don't want to read subtitles all the time. I don't like reading subtitles. I'm not. Ah, yes, there's Alice. When is that game post? What? October 6th. October 6th for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox, whatever it's called. So that game's coming up for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, the other Xbox. Interesting. So it's going to be on multiple game systems. That's good because I have a PS4, which means I can buy the game. Good. Hopefully I'll have a job by then. Because I really want to buy that game. I love playing those type of video games. Anything with fighting is good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. October 6th. Interesting. That gives me enough time. Hopefully I'll have a job by October. If not, I'm gonna have to order for my birthday. Alright, with that out of the way, now we're gonna watch some Rate Zero Season 3 news. Yeah, because I want to know more about Season 3 and what they have so far about the news and whatever. Thank you, I appreciate that. You're the same, man. You're the same. The final villain of Raid Zero. What? The final villain? What do you mean the final villain? There's gonna be more villains. Let's see what this is about. And when they say the final villain, I don't think they mean the final villain. I don't think Season 3 is gonna be the last freaking season. They're gonna make more seasons, but I don't think Season 3 is gonna be the last season. I don't see it. I don't see it being the last season. Come on, play, you stupid piece of shit. Come on, stop being a bitch, computer.
When Pepe crafted ReZero, he always knew how the series would end. With this in mind, he had a list of potential candidates for the final boss of ReZero, of which Felix was actually considered to be one of them. However, Tappy actually
Felix? Who the frick is Felix?
This video will be looking at who the final boss of ReZero will be, as well as discussing why they would be the final boss and their potential goals. With that said, I can only think of 4 potential end boss characters for the ReZero series.
Hold on.
We'll start with the most obvious.
Hold on.
Pandora, the Witch of...
I don't see her being a villain. I'm sorry, but I seen Season 1 and Season 2. I don't see her being a villain. I do not see the Witch of Priestess
Glory.
Fuck off.
Honestly, despite Pandora's...
Stop. I'm talking, then play reboot. As I was saying, I don't see this character being a villain.
Final boss. They would be the final boss. So, like, who the final... Felix was at the end.
Okay, I don't see her being a villain. I seen all 2 seasons of Raid Zero. Okay, the only thing I can see her being is a love interest, to the main character. Because let's be honest, he already have 2 waifus, okay? He has Emilia, he has Rim, he's probably gonna have 2 more. In Season 2, she's not a villain. She even says in Season 2, if you have not seen Season 2, I hate to spoil you guys, but, Season 2, this character actually has a crush on the main character, because in Season 2, she even said, you can have whatever you want. I'll give you whatever you want. She admit that she likes him. Okay, she might be a witch, but she's a hot witch. She's my second favorite character in the anime, just because she's a good writing character. I don't see her being a villain. I can see her being a love interest, join his little harem he's got going there, but I don't see her being a villain. So what in the actual heck is this guy talking about? I don't see her being a villain. I can see her maybe, like, eventually join his harem. That way you can have Rim, you can have Amelia, you can have her, and probably someone else. I don't see her being a villain. So, what is this guy talking about? I do not know. He's talking nonsense to me. Do you like Spy X Family? No, I have not watched it yet. I have not watched Spy X Family yet. But here's the thing. I have so many animes I have not finished or watched yet. However, it's on my list to watch, though. It's on my list. I'm gonna watch it when I get around to it. Too many animes to watch right now. I have like a whole list of animes I still have to finish and go and watch. Like, Spy X Family is one of those animes I'm definitely gonna check out. And there's others I'm gonna check out too, but eventually I'll get to Spy X Family.
When Teppei crafted ReZero, he always knew how the series would end.
Oh, does he
With
now?
this in mind, he had a list of potential candidates for the final boss of ReZero.
I don't
of which
see her being the
Felix
villain.
was actually considered to be one of them. However, Teppei
Yeah,
actually
okay.
discounted
Okay, so have the lolly is the villain? Okay, so do you think this lolly is gonna be a villain? Nah. If you guys don't know what lollies are, that's literally they call in Japanese. That's what we call little kids. Like, you know how every anime has a lolly in it. Like, the lolly actually likes some of the main characters. But here's the thing: lollies in Japanese are called little kids. We just have a different word for them in anime. They're called lollies. And this dude thinks this lolly is gonna be a villain. Yeah, okay. What's she gonna do? Is she gonna scream to death, or is she gonna? I'm not agreeing with this video so far. I'm not on board with this so far.
that idea.
Yeah, okay.
This video will be looking at who the final boss.
No. Okay, maybe one of them, but not the witch, because I can see the witch as being the like a love interest and join his harem eventually, but not a villain. How she acted in season 2, I don't see her being a villain. I just don't see it. You literally have to pay attention to what's in season 2 to literally pick these things up like I do, man. You literally have to pick these things up. You're shitting me. You're shitting me if you think this character's gonna be a villain. If you think this character here is gonna be a villain, come on now. You think she's gonna be a villain? Look at her. Does she look like a villain to you? No, she does not look like a villain. All she looks like to me is just a freaking hot waifu. And she's hot. You know, come on now. How can you not call that character a hot anime character? Besides Rim, she's the second hottest chick in this anime. I used a lot of my notebook. She's not a villain. I don't see her being a villain. Like I said, I can see her being part of his harem eventually, like part of the, you know, like, let's be honest, every anime has to have a harem, right? You have more than one chick that likes the main character. You always have to have that, which I don't mind that. It's good, you know, it's interesting to see that in animes, okay? But if this guy on YouTube, this guy thinks she's gonna be a villain, okay, what kind of smoke are you on? What kind of drinks are you drinking? Are you high on something? Because I don't think she's gonna be a villain, okay? How she acted in season 2, how she acted towards him in a way like she likes him. And dude, she said some things in season 2. I'm not going to talk in this video, but she said some things to him that is love interest, not villain interest. So if you think she's going to be a villain, no. This guy needs to go back and watch season 2, and they'll literally prove my point why she's not a villain. She helped him in season 2. You think that's being a villain? No. Dude, do your research right, because you're wrong about this. You're wrong about this. This guy doesn't know the facts he's talking about, man.
Who the final boss of ReZero will be.
Yeah. I can take a guess who's going to be the villain, but it's not going to be the witch.
Would be the final boss and their potential goals. With that said, I can only think of 4 potential end boss characters.
Oh boy, he's going to mention the witch, isn't he?
So let's begin. We'll start with the most obvious, Pandora, the Witch of Vainglory. Honestly,
Yeah, I do agree. She could be a contender for being a villain. I seen how she acted in season 2. Yeah, I can see her being a villain. I agree with that fact, but let's see if I actually agree with the rest of the facts.
Despite Pandora's prominence,
Pandora.
I actually believe she will be the final boss of ReZero.
Pandora.
And that's for several reasons. I feel like the Sin Archbishops will be dealt with way before the final arc of ReZero, namely Arc 11, which is the final arc. Pandora, which seems to be the head of the Sin Archbishops,
Oh
will
yeah,
most likely be killed
I
permanently by
I hated
Amelia.
that guy. I hated that dude from season 1. I hated that guy. Where is he again? Right here? I hate this dude. I hate him because he killed Rim in season 1. But you know, Rim died, but you know, the main character has the ability to go back and repeat the thing over again. If he repeats, the characters come back. But the reason I hate this character so much is because he killed Rim. He killed my favorite character in season 1. Dude, I hate this dude. I hate this character just because he killed my favorite character. I hate this guy. I hate him. If I was in the anime, I'll I'll take my hand and Makai him and just erase him from existence. You don't do that to my favorite character. Not my waifu. You don't do that.
Be the head of the Sin Archbishops.
Asshole,
will most
this
likely
guy's a
be
dick.
killed permanently by Amelia in Arc 9 or Arc 10, which will then lead into the final arc.
I was so happy when he got killed in season 1. Like, oh yeah, he gone. That's what he gets for killing the best character of the series.
Of the story. As of Arc 7, pretty much every Sin Archbishop has been taken care of. Lybat and Katos, Regulus Corneas, Beetlejuice are all dead.
Beetlejuice.
Sirius and Roy
That's a pretty silly name for a villain, Beetlejuice.
are captured.
Beetlejuice.
Lilith doesn't have a witch factor anymore, so it seems that she is a Sin
Beetlejuice.
Archbishop, leaving only Capella as the only active Sin Archbishop, which will most likely be resolved in Arc 8 or whenever Felt next shows up, because Felt and Capella seem to be linked story-wise, meaning that Pandora will most likely be killed by Amelia shortly after. After all, Tappy has alluded that Amelia will of course get her revenge on Pandora. This will most likely coincide with Amelia's final character growth in the series. Tappy has stated that Amelia will undergo 3 main development stages over the course of the series. The first one was in Arc 4, and her final one, in my opinion, will be during Arc 9 or Arc 10, when she finally kills Pandora and redeems the lives of Fortuna and Juice. After all, Pandora was the one which ruined their family, and it's of course implied that Sirius is Fortuna, and of course Juice became Beetlejuice. So, of course,
Beetlejuice.
Amelia will kill Pandora, and Pandora will act as a catalyst to essentially make Amelia a better character. And Amelia will no
Let's be honest, Rim's the best character in the series, and no one can tell me otherwise.
longer be naive. This will then prepare Amelia for Arc 11, which will be the final arc, as her sort of completed character and personality. As for Pandora's goal, we don't really know what it is. However, we can speculate due to the fact that people like Capella and Pandora seem to be interested in the witches' remains. The witches of old, so the witches like Typhon, Echidna, and so on and so forth. In my Future of ReZero video, I talked about how every arc seems to have a link with the remains of a witch. So for example, Arc 4 was linked with Echidna. Arc 5, the City of Pristella, was linked with Typhon. Arc 6, the Pleiades Watchtower, was theoretically the death of where Daphne was, and it's where, of course, Satella is sealed. So you can see quite a lot of the remains are linked in the story of ReZero. We also know that Sekhmet, who died from the Great Waterfall by falling off, we know from Tappy's Q&As that Subaru will eventually visit the Great Waterfall, meaning that he will come into contact with Sekhmet's remains most likely. It seems like Pandora may be trying to collect them because they're actually used as an energy source. We know this from the fact that Typhon's remains power the City of Pristella. So maybe Pandora is trying to collect all of them so she can, of course, then use the energy to potentially unseal Satella or some form of action. We don't know, but my bet is that Pandora is collecting the witch's remains to potentially use the energy for some form of goal. The second candidate for the final boss of ReZero, and in my opinion the most likely boss of ReZero, is actually Omega Echidna. And this is for one big reason. We know at the end of the Season 2 anime, Omega Echidna gets resurrected. Echidna, the one from the Tea Party...
No, please don't say. I don't think she's a villain. She does not act like a villain in Season 2. Do I have to explain that again? I don't believe she's a villain. She didn't act like a villain in Season 2. I just don't see that. Dude, come on. Come on. You think a cute person like her is a villain? Come on, man. Come on. It's literally by saying, oh yeah, Rim's a villain too.
Takes over and possesses Ryuzu body. She is then allowed to walk outside of the sanctuary and she wanders the world. She also has a crystal which contains all of the souls of the other witches, which means that Echidna is a big contender for the final boss of ReZero.
Yeah, whatever,
we do not
bro.
know what her goal is. However, Tappy has stated that all of the witches will show up in Arc 11, which means that the only potential candidate that we know will survive right to the end of the series is Omega Echidna and the witches, which seems to sort of put them in the prime position to be the final boss of ReZero, considering we do know that Echidna is not someone which has...
Again, I don't think she's a villain.
...human emotions.
I don't think she's a villain.
She only cares about knowledge. So it does seem like she could be the final boss of the series. And again, she had that sort of connection with Emilia and also with Subaru and Satella.
No, come on, man. Dude, she's not a villain. How she acted in Season 2 towards the main character and how she even said, I want you to stay here. I want you for myself. Like, dude, she said some things in Season 2 was not villainous. And not to mention, she helped him solve his problem and stuff. So, you're telling me this cute character right here is a villain? No, she's not.
So it does feel like she will be the final boss, considering
No,
she will be
no,
at the end of the series
no.
in Arc 11.
No.
And in my opinion, she will be the final boss of the series.
No.
However, there are a few more other characters we can actually talk about.
I would be shocked if she's a villain. But how I saw Season 2 and how she acted, I don't think she's a villain. She didn't act like a villain. She didn't have any bad motives. I don't see her being a villain. But then again, maybe she will, maybe she won't. But as it stands right now, I don't see her being a villain. Come on, man. Yeah, come on. This cute chick right here, you think she's a villain. Bro, what kind of crack are you on?
And I'll start with him now. Well, Jake from the future here. Whilst I was editing this video, I found this Q&A which you can see on screen, where someone asked Kappy, how long does love last for? And then Kappy gave a response which is very similar to Echidna's Why Does Love Fade? This is like Echidna's go-to expression. Why does love fade? Why
I'm
does
gonna
love
have to watch
diminish?
season 2 of Raid Zero
And
again.
You can see the Q&A on screen, but then he puts in quotation marks or brackets the final boss's words. So of course, again, it's
Probably before season 3 Raid Zero comes back. I'll probably rewatch all the seasons, rewatch both seasons again before season 3 comes out. Like, I'll binge watch both seasons again, because let's be honest, that anime was so good. I'm probably gonna binge watch it more than once. Just like Sword Art Online, I'm probably gonna watch that series a lot. Just like Total Kawaii. I can never get tired of watch something that I really enjoy. Here's the anime I enjoy. Danganronpa, I love that anime too. Love it.
some more evidence that Echidna will most likely be the final boss. So moving on from Echidna, we
She's
now
not
have,
a
of course,
villain,
another
bro,
likely
man.
candidate, which is the Witch of Envy. Now, do keep in mind, I'm
No.
making it very distinct when I say the Witch of Envy, so I'm not exactly talking about Satella. As we know, the Witch of Envy is Satella's personality, which is extremely sort of yandere. And of course, the Witch of Envy seems to be the cause of pretty much everything which has gone bad in the world of ReZero. Even though Satella was the one that swallowed half the world, which was confirmed in the Witches After Tea Party, it seems like Satella did it for a reason. At least I believe there is a reason why she swallowed half the world, and the Witch of Envy is of course behind that sort of reasoning. Now, I don't necessarily think the Witch of Envy or Satella will be the final boss anyway, because it feels like they're good characters. I feel like Satella will join the good side alongside the Witch of Envy to defeat the final boss. We do know that Satella is of course sealed, and I mean, like I said before, like Satella could break out of the seal anytime she wants. She's done this in Arc 4, she's done this in Arc 6. She can essentially come out anytime she wants, but she doesn't, which shows that she isn't really a final boss candidate, because she could literally destroy the world whenever she wants, but she doesn't. So to me, it seems like Satella will be a character that will get unsealed later on when Subaru collects every single witch factor, which, by the way, is another reason why we know that the Sin Archbishops and Pandora will most likely be defeated very soon, because Subaru needs those witch factors to free Satella, because again, it's a theory that Satella is of course at the Pleiades Watchtower, which we saw at Arc 6. So yeah, maybe the final boss candidate I can sort of think of, which is sort of a crack theory, is
I forget which
Flugel,
one's Sotero
or
again.
some people believe that Flugel is Subaru, so Subaru could be the final boss.
You think the main character is a villain? Wow. I don't think the main character is a villain. Oh, God.
This cannot be the case. Even if Flugel was like a different version of Subaru or something, this is very unlikely, because Flugel was one of the 3 great heroes. If he saved the world from being destroyed, why would he then be the bad guy? It makes no sense to me. So I don't think it'll be Flugel either. So yeah, that's pretty much the 3 candidates, 4 if you include Flugel, to be the final bosses of ReZero. And I do believe that the final boss will be Echidna, the Witch of Greed. So thank you for watching. Do you disagree, or is there anyone that I've missed out?
I disagree with you saying that that other character from the very beginning was going to be the villain. I disagree with that. Rather than that, I agree with the other factors. But rather than that, I don't agree with this character being a villain. This character right here, I don't see her being a villain. Rather than that, I agree with everything you said. Rather than that, of her being a villain, I do not believe you. She didn't act like a villain in Season 2. So why would you think she would act like a villain in Season 3? Bro, you're on some... Bro, you must be on some crack, because I don't know. if you are literally reading the information, or if you even watched season 2, she is not a villain. She didn't act like it. She didn't have any bad intentions. Like, she didn't even have a motive. The only thing she wanted to do was to help the main character out. That's all. You tell me that's a villain. Nah, dude, you're on some crack, man. You're on those crack. Speaking of crack, yeah, some people just make bullshit accusations with the videos sometimes, man. It happens. Right, Zero will change the anime. Here's why. What? Raid Zero will change the anime, and here's why. I'll wear it.
ReZero Season 3 is going to change everything.
Oh,
man.
really?
Whatever
Is it
releases,
now?
It will be Anime of the Year. So let me
Well,
tell
okay,
you.
I can see it being the anime of the year. I can see it winning the award. I can see it. Even though I'm a little angry and kind of disappointed that Total Kawaii or Dating Live Season 4 or Overlord Season 5 did not win the anime award this year. Frankly, I don't know why they win the award. You know what anime won the award this year? Best Anime, Demon Slayer. Which I disagree with Demon Slayer winning. Wait, that wasn't Demon Slayer, sorry. It was Attack on Titan was the best anime of 2022. Okay, no one. I seen Attack on Titan. I don't like the anime. I seen it. I'm not a fan of it. I would not call it the best anime out there. And number one, why would you choose Attack on Titan to be the best anime of 2022 when there are others than that? I'll even give you an example of animes were better than Attack on Titan 2022. One, Raid Zero. No, not Raid Zero. Total Kawaii. No, wait, not Total Kawaii. Day in Life Season 4 was excellent. Tokyo Revengers was good. Then again, both seasons have been awesome to watch. Another contender should be for the 2022 Anime Award should have been Overlord Season 5. Spy X Family should have been listed. Sakamori should have been listed. Those animes right there should have been listed to win the Anime Award in 2023. But it didn't. They had to choose Attack on Titan for some reason. And then, for the best movie of 2023, they chose Demon Slayer. Okay, which I am against that too. Because, let's be honest, Dragon Ball Superhero was an awesome movie. It made more money than Demon Slayer. More people went to go see Dragon Ball Superhero than Demon Slayer. Sword Online, the new movie that came out this year, was also another movie should have been a contender to win the award too. To be honest, I think, in my opinion, it should have came down to Dragon Ball Superhero or Sword Online the movie. One of them should have won the award. But no, they chose Demon Slayer. I don't know why. Because Dragon Ball Superhero made a lot more money. A lot of people went to go see it. Like, when I say it was the best movie in 2023, and so was Sword Online, I'm not kidding. Because Sword Online made a lot of... Sword Online, the new movie, made a lot of money. A lot of people went to go see it, including myself. Dragon Ball Superhero was popular. I went to see it 3 times in theaters. It made a lot of money. Like, Dragon Ball Superhero, well, it was out in theaters. It was number 1 at the box office. The number 1 best movie when it was out in movie theaters. It was the number 1 movie in theaters. No other movie could beat it. Not even the freaking Marvel movies couldn't even beat it. Dragon Ball even beat Marvel movies. That's telling you something right there. If it can beat Marvel, it can beat any movie, right? Dragon Ball Superhero was the best movie in movie theaters the whole time I was in theaters. And then when Sword Online came out, when the movie came out this year, during the time when that was out, that was the best movie in theaters. And you're telling me that Demon Slayer was better than those two, and it won the award of best movie in the anime? No. I don't know who voted for that movie. I don't know who voted for that to be number one. But frankly, it does not deserve to be number one. I think your two top contenders would have been Dragon Ball Superhero or the new Sword Online film, because those brought in the money. Those brought in a lot of those fans from those animes, and I'm a fan of both of those animes. And you're telling me that Demon Slayer beat both of them? Well, in my opinion, they didn't. But when it comes to the votes, it did beat it. Frankly, in my opinion, Dragon Ball Superhero and the Sword Online movie was better than Demon Slayer. My opinion, so it stands.
Why? You might be asking like, whoa, chill, bro. Like ReZero, more like Mid-Zero.
Oh, shut up.
Season 3 is going to be incredible.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good, man. Then again, season 1 was good, season 2 was good, season 3 is probably gonna be good as well.
Love it with season 3.
Season 3, man. Can it just come out already?
Let's just talk about what was happening on the trailer. So in the beginning,
I reacted to the trailer.
And we see the freaking white dove, because like I've said a million times
the
before,
whiteboard.
White doves represent new beginnings. So it's like the new story. ReZero's entering a new arc, like season 3, arc 5. We get to see later on in the trailer, like the city that looks like Attack on Titan. Well, that's the city that arc 5 takes place, or the majority of season 3, which apparently it's going to be 35 episodes, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on.
Oh, I actually heard that season 3 might be 50 episodes. I also heard it might be 35. It could be 50 or 35 episodes. If it's 35 or 50 episodes, I'm okay with that. Then you can drag it out longer. Because to be honest, 25 is a good episodes, but come on, man. When it comes to Sword Online, Dragon Ball, Total Kawaii, and other animes I like, they deserve to have more than 25 episodes. They're just that good.
Setting of ReZero, it looks amazing. Like the visual.
Oh yeah, the trailer does look good.
It's really weird how they.
I actually reacted to the trailer a couple weeks ago. My first stream on YouTube. Go check that video out if you guys have not.
Who's animating it? But I really do think it's White Fox, because everything just looks very White Fox. If it's not White Fox, then it's the same director, same key animator, same character designer. I really do think it's White Fox. It just looks very season 1-ish, which is great because season 1 had amazing visual. But yeah, man, we get to see like the feathers falling off. Poor White Dove. Why do they have to abuse my family like this? You know, he blows up, all of his feathers are slowly falling down, and then they turn black, which is like corrupted feathers, which is very, again, symbolic to what season 3 is. And then it cuts to all of the characters, all of the royal candidates. We see Reinhardt, Julius, every single one of the candidates, bro. It's amazing, dude. I was losing it when I was seeing that. It was so cool to see. Yo! Dude, oh my god! The setting of this arc looks amazing. The colors, again, how it's like the water city, vibrant. It looks filled with life. I really do hope when they're like actually animating that part, when they enter, like it's filled with people, it's filled with life. This part of the world of ReZero is like very vibrant, right? From what I've seen, they really have been doing it justice. Just with that preview, bro. Black feathers are falling, which again is symbolic to like, oh, how they're going to fight something corrupted. And then boom, after every single candidate rolls by, Subaru grabs the feather and it disappears in his hand, which is very, again, that I know that the director of ReZero is the same one because it's great directing, bro. The transition that happened between when a black feather was falling and then it transitioned into Subaru's hand and then he holds it and stuff, and then his group, the freaking Amelia came with Otto, Garfield, Beatrice. Oh, so
you know what really annoyed me in that trailer? The only thing that annoyed me in that trailer was Rim was not in it. Last time I checked, I think Rim's part of his group. Like, come on now, like, come on.
And they're like freaking Avengers 360 shot. While the Arc Bishops were like the freaking sound effects, they were like popping in and out. And the OST, man, you already know Kenichiro Suehiro is working on this season because that was a banger. That was so good. It hit so hard. The trailer hit so hard with that soundtrack, man. But yeah, we get to see 2 Arc Bishops that we once knew, Regulus and Lai. And then we get to see 2 new ones, but really obvious that they're Arc Bishops, that they're showing them together. And then we see Subaru like getting scared, but then he's like, no, I'm going to fight them. And oh, it's so good. And then season 3. Oh, what a great teaser trailer, bro. Such a good teaser trailer. So with the trailer out of the way, let's talk about why this season is going to be incredible and why it's going to change everything. So we see the posters, right? First poster, this is, you know, posters change all the damn time, but the first poster we got for season 3 was a shot with Subaru and Emilia, and then like the water water's reflecting on the thing. I don't know, man. I've been seeing this kind of poster a lot ever since Spy Family. They didn't even try to hide Subaru's leg in the water reflection. That's something that happens in Arc 5. I don't want to say what exactly happens. They're not hiding it, and I love that. It's like, yo, this season is going to be crazy. It's going to be insane, man. It's a beautiful poster, bro, because it's Subaru alone with Emilia, and there's nothing else. It's the city eerie. It's uncanny. Why is it so lonely? There's nobody but Subaru and Emilia, and obviously Subaru's reflection with his leg like all like messed up. We have the other poster, the celebration one, which is what I'm going to get into now. So apparently, this poster shows one of the characters that appears in Arc 6, the arc that comes after the teaser trailer arc. So this is leading a lot of people to believe both Arcs 5 and 6 are going to be adapted. Maybe not all of Arc 6, maybe it ends with a cliffhanger, who knows, but there's literally no information. But I've been hearing a lot, and a lot of quote-unquote leaks, that ReZero Season 3 might be 30 to 35 episodes long, which will be insane if they actually do this. If White Fox is doing this, imagine, bro, 35 episodes, right? And the other half is all 30-minute episodes. Could you imagine if White Fox does that? My respect for White Fox is infinite, okay, with what they did with season 2.
I think the anime series Akame ga Kill, which is another awesome anime series, I think they also did White Fox. I don't know. Let me see. Because it literally says on the back of the DVD or Blu-ray what company did the anime. Like, I think it's White Fox. Let me see if it's White Fox. I think it is White Fox. Yeah, I think it is because I think Akame ga Kill Season 1, White Fox did it. Yeah, I think they did. So, the same anime that did this anime, Akame ga Kill, is doing Re:Zero Season 3. Which is good because they did a very good job with Season 1 of Akame ga Kill. I have faith in this anime studio doing this.
Part 2, sacrificing ad revenue and all that stuff, they're goated. They'll absolutely do that for ReZero because that's the amount of love that they pour into the series. Arc 5 and 6, and apparently Arc 6 is like peak ReZero. I haven't read Arc 6 yet, but let's get into why Season 3 is going to be mind-blowing, bro. So if you've watched Season 1 and Season 2 of ReZero, and you're like, the anime's pretty good, but I'm not like really feeling it. Maybe because you're a more action-oriented person, or maybe you want to see a more plot-driven story instead of a character study. A character study is when the plot is focused on the character's mind, the character's struggles, personal struggles, instead of what's going on outside of the world. For instance, Season 1 is more plot driven and Season 2 is more of a character study because they're focusing on Subaru's past, they're focusing on Emilia's struggles, on Beatrice's past and how she was like stuck in this jail, the Forbidden Library, as well as being stuck in a mental jail, like saying like, oh, this person, the one. It's a character study. They're focusing on the characters' development and stuff. Season 3 is basically both of them combined. You have a little bit of a character study and you have a little bit of the plot driven. It's much more plot driven this time. I imagine from like episode 2, everything just kicks off and it's like shit goes down, okay? I think episode 2 though, everything will start going down, but it's very plot driven. I mean, you saw with the teaser, Arc Bishops are back. I'm not going to say exactly why they're there or how they appear, but they're there. Basically, they're going to be.
They're
fighting.
there. Deal with it.
The teaser says that, okay? And you saw all of the returning candidates, the royal candidates with all of the knights. With that alone, there's going to be a lot of action. I'm pretty sure you've heard this somewhere. Action everywhere. I really do think they're pouring the love that ReZero deserves. And if it's White Fox, the same director, I really do hope that they do this right, because again, a lot of people love action. A lot of people love the more plot-driven anime. And this anime, this season, is that. Plus everything that's happened in season 2. All of the development, all of the insight we got on the character psyches. So something that I see a lot of people say is that, oh, the season 1 characters became irrelevant. The royal candidates, the knights, Reinhardt, Julius, all of them just randomly disappeared in season 2. Like, L series, Mid-Seer, what the frick is this guard? No, bro. Season 3, they become extremely relevant. And a lot of them get a bunch of development, a lot of development, and they really made me love these characters even more. They show their personalities
in season 3. Rim better be in season 3. I don't want her to be like season 2. She was in a coma for like 11 episodes. Well, frankly, no. Season 2 has 13. So frankly, she was in a coma for 12 episodes. The only episode she was actually in was episode 1, and then after that they just put her in a coma for the rest of the season, which I was against that, man. I was against her damn doing that. That's why I give ReZero season 2 a 9 out of 10, just because they put my favorite character on the side. And then season 1 I ranked a 10 out of 10 because, yeah, it was a good season. Season 2 was good except for Rim being on the side. That's why I only ranked it a 9 out of 10. Let's see how I'm going to rank ReZero Season 3. Can I rank it a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 like Season 1? We will find out whenever Season 3 comes out.
On Season 3, the Season 1 characters became irrelevant. It's completely destroyed in Season 3 because all of these characters are stupid relevant, okay? They're literally the focus of Season 3. If this season is done right, and all the fight scenes, if they animate this right, just imagine Roswell versus Ram, Garfield versus Elsa. Imagine those fights, but like constant. And the amount of tension, the amount of build-up to those fights is happening constantly. Imagine that. Well, and
you know who I think is going to be the final boss of ReZero, in my opinion? I think it's going to be Garfield. Because, dude, how we acted in Season 1 and Season 2, he is a villain. Because he set up the whole freaking thing at the mansion and get Subaru killed. And then Season 2, he killed Ren's sister. Dude, I think he's going to be the final villain. Because, dude, how he acted in both seasons, he acted like a villain. He had bad motives. I can see him being the final villain. My opinion, how he acted in Season 1, Season 2, yeah, he's gonna be the final villain. I can see it now. He's gonna betray everybody.
Episodes or 13.
I never liked that
ReZero
dude,
is going to change completely, and I'm 1,000,000,000% sure that people will
Wait,
start
not Garfield. Sorry, Roswell. Sorry, Roswell. Not Garfield, but Roswell, the clown guy with the clown face. I think he's gonna be the final villain. Because in Season 2 and Season 1, he was a bad man. He was a bad guy. Yeah, I talk about a villain you can actually hate. He'll be the final villain at the end of the series. Watch. They're literally setting that up for that to happen. That's who I think the final villain's gonna be.
Looking at this anime differently. The people who didn't mess with ReZero that much at first with Season 1 and Season 2, if they didn't mess with it back then, they're definitely going to mess with it now, bro. Easily Anime of the Year if they do this right. And I do think that they're gonna do it right because if it's 35 episodes, Arc 5 and 6, bro, it's over. It's over. This is going to be Anime of the Year if they do it right. And I know they're gonna do it right, bro. I can't wait, bro. Bro, if Arc 6 gets animated, that means that Subaru will finally get out of that damn tracksuit. So yeah, crack that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Tell me what you think of this announcement and what you think about everything that's been going on. And see you in the next video.
Very interesting stuff she brought out.
ReZero Season 3 was announced today at Anime Japan, and I'm here to hopefully scratch the itch for ReZero content that you guys have been waiting for literal years. Now, when it comes to series like ReZero, which are adaptations of a light novel, there are generally going to be some cuts, and usually for the worse. Season 3 has a lot of things going into it where knowing this cut information will make your viewing experience a lot smoother. It is possible some of this stuff gets reintroduced in the anime at some point, but just in case it doesn't, we're going to cover it here for you to be more in the loop. So here are 5 things you should know before ReZero Season 3. After the scene where Subaru officially gets
And I
met.
can't believe they think she's gonna be a villain. Dude, no. I don't see her being a villain at all, Beaver. I do not see it.
It could be the first thing we see in Season 3, but just in case it's not, you need to know this. After the knighting, we hear about somebody rushing through a dark space, their eyes shining with conviction. They have long pink hair and a long-sleeved robe fluttering in the breeze, and they begin to levitate over a glowing circle. She ascends as if riding on an invisible floor, getting launched to the outside. She had safely left the barrier of the sanctuary, as she cursed that thing, or Amelia, for defeating the trials. She gives herself a name, Omega, and rushes through the trees to exit the forest. She notes that Beatrice had left the Forbidden Library,
Beatrice.
and Roswell had lost his gospel. However, very importantly, somebody had pocketed
Pocket it. That's good. You're doing great. Good to hear it, my friend. Oh yeah, I forgot Food Wars' finale's on Saturday, which is sad because I'm gonna miss that anime. I hope they make a season 6.
the burnt remains of Roswell's gospel. There was a world she was going towards, what never grew dull for her, abundant, endlessly sating her curiosity, a mountain of treasures for the
When season 3 of Raid Zero comes out, I hope they put it on Toonami. I hope they do, because when season 3 of the dub comes out for Raid Zero season 3, I am praying for them to put it on Toonami. Because if they do, oh boy, that anime is gonna be popular on Toonami. Probably drawing a lot of people just to watch it.
dead, thirst for knowledge incarnate. She plucks a flower petal before popping it in her mouth. Even beautiful flowers will wilt. Why must the flowers wither? Were even the beautiful memories shared between people destined to wane? Ah, why must love fade, she asks, as the Witch of Greed was once again unleashed onto the world.
I don't see her being a villain. I just don't see it. I don't see her being a villain. The people can talk all they want about her being a villain, but how she acted in season 2, she's not a villain. Until I get proven that she is a villain. For now, I don't believe she's a villain.
The original clone, known as Shima, was stripped of her position as an overseer of the trials, and forced to live in the forest. This was discussed in Season 2. Echidna has now successfully taken over her body and used her to escape the sanctuary. Technically, this was very subtly shown off in the penultimate episode of Season 2, when Amelia runs into the laboratory and asks about the Ryuzu encased in the crystal. You can hear Echidna's voice responding to her from Shima.
You see this, and that's the very first thing you think of?
The implications of Echidna being released once again out into the world are obviously huge, and it has led some people to even speculate that the final antagonist of ReZero could be Echidna herself, being an extremely dangerous individual. However, that is just speculation. Number 2 is Wilhelm's injury. Right around when Rem and Krush lose their memories, Subaru and Wilhelm get to talking. Subaru thanks Wilhelm for his contributions to the battle against the White Whale. And after
The
a
White
while,
Whale.
reveals to Subaru
I have to
he
say
has
that was an
blood
interesting
slowly oozing out
part
his
of
back
season
to the
2 was
Subaru tells
the
him that looks painful
White
and that
Whale.
Ferris should be able to heal a wound like that. However, it is a wound which cannot be healed. It was an injury inflicted by someone wielding the divine protection of the Death God. It is not a wound from the battle with the White Whale, but one from a long time ago that has reopened. Something that weighs very heavily upon Wilhelm. The divine protection of the Death God will slowly reopen the wound the closer the wielder is to the victim, meaning if you were struck by the wielder of the divine protection, left for a few years and healed, and met up with them again, the wound would immediately open back the closer you got. That is when Wilhelm drops the bomb on Subaru. That the divine protection was held by the previous sword saint, Theresia van Astrea. That the deceased wife of Wilhelm is somehow, in some way, closer to Wilhelm now, reopening his shoulder wound from years ago. He isn't sure the reasoning, but all he says is that he must continue to pursue the witch cult in order to uncover the truth. Number 3 are the witches' deaths. Might sound strange, but indeed the individual manners of deaths for all the witches was cut, and in fact, some of them could prove important. Echidna wasn't traditionally killed, but more so, she collected the souls of the other witches before heading to the sanctuary. Her soul was then sealed there by the Mayor's magic at Volcanica's instruction, in hopes that one day, her, the sage, and the sword saint could defeat the Witch of Envy if need be. Her body can be found in the tomb in the sanctuary, and she also claims herself.
Yeah, I bet it is. But if they put, when Season 3 of Raid Zero comes out for the dub, if they put that on Toonami, that would probably be the best anime on Toonami if they, if they ever think about, when Season 3 comes out, if they ever think about putting this on Toonami, it would probably be the best anime on there. Like, if they do put it on Toonami when Season 3 comes out, put it at the beginning of Toonami. Put it at the fourth show that comes on. Put it at number 1 on the lineup. Like, then people will probably say, oh boy, Raid Zero's gonna Season 3 episodes every Saturday. I'm looking forward to this. Like, the hype for every episode. I'm just saying that would draw a lot of people to watch Toonami more if they have Raid Zero Season 3 on there, whenever it comes out.
That Satella has devoured her. Carmilla, the Witch of Lust, died in a way we aren't entirely certain. One source says that she was burned at the stake, and another also claims she was devoured by Satella. Minerva, the Witch of Wrath, one day starts punching people. Suddenly, they would get healed by the punches, and she would go all around the world healing people when she could. What she didn't know is that for all the damage she healed, she would distribute the opposite somewhere else in the world. Whenever she saved a life, someone would die. Nations would end up sending armies after her until one day she gets trapped by a group of elves, eventually being driven mad and killed by the Witch of Envy. Yet again, other sources claim that she was instead devoured by Satella. Daphne, the Witch of Gluttony, had a bottomless stomach, so when she tried to cross the Great Augria sand dunes, she would find herself starving and die in that sandy tomb. Or as others claim, she was devoured by Satella. Sekhmet, the Witch of Sloth, would find her end when she battles against the divine dragon Volcanica at the edge of the world. Oh right, the anime cut this too. The ReZero world is flat. Allegedly. During battle, she was knocked off the world and plummeted to her death, or was devoured by Satella. Typhon, the Witch of Pride, was considered the third most powerful witch after Satella and Sekhmet. At some point, though, she would find herself trapped in a place called the Watergate City of Pristella, a city in Laguna that was a famous
These people, get the worst deaths ever.
Waterways, it was sort of like Venice in the ReZero world. At some point, Typhon had gone there and was killed by a flood. Her remains are rumored to still rest in that city to this day. Number 4 is about Elsa and Melee.
I hate that character.
At the end of Season 2 regarding Elsa and Melee. To start, during the final episodes where they are battling in the Roswell mansion, the duo talk about a mama, who they seemingly refer to as if it's their boss. When they are defeated, Melee also mentions that if they had returned to Mama now, they would certainly be scolded. What is also left out is that Melee is taken prisoner by the Emilia camp because they don't really want to kill a child, and they also don't want to let her loose out there. Something that is even more interesting is after the knighting ceremony with Subaru and Emilia, Subaru gets to talking with Roswell. Due to the pact that holds him accountable and his...
And I said this dude could be the final villain of Raid Zero because, dude, this guy has bad motives. This guy cannot be trusted at all.
Straight and full. Roswell informs him that while he hired Elsa in the royal capital and now in the mansion, he had absolutely nothing to do with Melee accompanying her. Roswell's contract only targeted Beatrice, but those two had plans that went beyond his request. In other words, there was another culprit who had planned the attack on the mansion.
I don't know why this dude would send someone to kill his own in a way, his own allies. This is what I call an anime prick.
Besides Roswell, including the events of Arc 2 with the curse. Somebody else
poor guy. Well, poor for everybody who gets killed, but this dude, dude, when this character dies, I guarantee I'm not gonna have any sympathy for him. I'm not. I'm not gonna have any sympathy for him at all.
Purpose. All that and more will be waiting for you. Eventually. Anyway, let's get to the fifth and final thing you should know. Number 5, Felt's backstory.
Ooh.
So, in the anime, it's never really explained what's going on with Felt.
I
In the
actually
first
like
arc, all
her
we know is that
character
at some
too.
point, Reinhardt grabs a hold of her because the gem shines for her. The entire reason, however, was revealed in Arc 3, just not in the anime. In the royal castle, after everyone is kind of shocked due to Felt's background as one of the filthy pores, Reinhardt draws attention to how she looks. She has the trademark looks of a member of the now deceased Lagunican royal family, namely her blonde hair and crimson eyes. Something even more important is that we also learn that just 14 years prior to Arc 3, a princess was kidnapped as a baby. This could explain why the Dragonstone lit up for her, or it could even be unrelated considering it picked a bunch of other candidates that have nothing to do with the royal family. All we know for certain is that it is likely Felt is of Lagunican descent, which would allegedly make her the last standing remnant of the royal bloodline. Who was she kidnapped by? Why was she kidnapped? And why did the Dragonstone choose her? Well, we frankly have no idea. All we know is that for some reason she falls under the criteria that the Divine Dragon of Lagunica has set, and we will see what happens from here. If you like this video and want some more information that will be very much relevant for Season 3, please do let me know in the comments below, and I'll get started on one immediately. Hopefully this video proves useful for you whenever the anime does come out. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for the funny YouTube algorithm. You can check the description down below to follow me on Twitter, where I'm objectively correct all the time. You can also join my Discord, where we talk about My Hero Academia, ReZero, Jujutsu Kaisen, and stuff like that. And you can also now become a YouTube...
ReZero Season 3 is here. Many of you did not believe that this would come out, but here it is in the flesh. So I'll be covering the first look at ReZero Season 3 in this video, and I have many interesting things that I'm sure you have missed. The most interesting thing is the poster which accompanies the Season 3 announcement, which contains Arc 5 characters which will be appearing in Season 3. However, those of you which have eagle eyes will notice that there are interesting characters that appear. And if I show you where they are located, the first notable character is the girl at the top left, which covers around 20 or 25% of the poster. And this character is called Shula. Now, the interesting thing is that she doesn't actually appear in Arc 5, which is Season 3 of the anime. In fact, she appears in Arc 6, which seems to indicate that Season 3 of ReZero will cover not only Arc 5, but also Arc 6 of the anime. So 2 arcs are being adapted in this season. We also have a red-haired man in the bottom left of the image. This is, of course, Reed Astria, another Arc 6 character. And at the top, we see Volcanica, the Divine Dragon, which again is another Arc 6 character, which again seems to indicate that Arc 6 and Arc 5 are both being adapted. Now that means that we could potentially have 50 or even 30 ReZero episodes for this season, so look forward to that. We were also given a promoter, the Divine Dragon, which again is another Arc 6 character, which again seems to indicate that Arc 6 and Arc 5 are both being adapted. Now that means that we could potentially have 50 or even 30 ReZero episodes for this season, so look forward to that.
Yeah, if they do 50 episodes of this, I'm gonna be happy. Even if they do 30 or 35, I will be happy with that.
We will also
drag
given
out the
a
story.
promotional poster featuring Subaru and Emilia. Now, the interesting thing about this image is the reflection in the surface of the water, where you can see that Subaru seems to be manifesting a new power from his leg. What this power is, I guess we'll see in Season 3. We also see the antagonists of the arc, namely Regulus Corneus, the Sin Archbishop of Greed, who of course was one of the people that attacked Emilia's mother back in the forest of Elior. We also see an unnamed bandaged woman, which of course, for those of you that have read the novels, know that this is Sirius, the Sin Archbishop of Wrath, who has very similar features to Fortuna, which is Emilia's mother. We also have Roy Alphard, the Sin Archbishop of Gluttony, and we also did see Lybatin Kaitos, the Sin Archbishop of Gluttony, who of course ate Rem's memories, so Subaru may be able to get his revenge. Finally, we have the final Sin Archbishop in the video, which is of course Capella, the Sin Archbishop of Lust, and she has her pink sort of eyes, and she's smiling. What's really interesting is that eagle-eyed viewers would have noticed that Capella is actually holding her underwear in her small shot. So of course you can see her finger is wrapped around her underwear, and she's sort of pulling it up. So I'm not too sure why they've exactly went with this image, but I guess some people like their lollies being fan service. For those that don't know, Capella, the Sin Archbishop of Lust, wears we'll say a very fan servicey outfit, as you can see from the poster on screen. On the poster, eagle-eyed viewers would have also noticed that Rem is present. She's smiling and her eyes are closed, of course, to indicate that she is currently sleeping. However, we know from the trailer that Light Batten Kaitos is, of course, appearing at Pristella, the city which Subaru and the rest of the group are in, which seems to indicate that they may be able to solve this plot point, and Rem will actually wake up soon.
Oh, good. Please don't put her in a... Please don't have her be side for season 3, like... Have her come back in the season, like, maybe 4 or 5 episodes, and just don't keep her in a coma for the whole season, please, because besides season 2, Raid Zero, everything was excellent, except for Rem being on a coma. That really hurt my feelings.
They also showed all of the different royal candidates. So on screen we can see Anastasia with, of course, Julius, the 3 triplets, and Ricardo, also known as Dogman.
Dogman.
We then have Crush's cat with Wilhelm, Crush, and Felix. We then cut to Aldebrand's group, which is Al, Priscilla, and Schultz. And finally, Felt and Reinhard. We then cut to the main character Subaru with Garfield, Otto, Beatrice, and Emilia, as we of course see the Sin Archbishops, and then it shows the camera panning out before Subaru of course faces the enemies. So of course this seems to be an arc where all of the royal candidates will be present, and they'll be battling against the Sin Archbishops in the city of Pristella. However, this may not all be good news, because we do know that this season seems to be adapting to arcs. So of course the question is, based on this preview poster, the fact that Arc 6 characters are present, is there going to be enough time to adapt all of the material? And if there is only, say, 25 episodes, then it seems like there won't be enough time, and a lot of content will be cut out, which was happening in, of course, Season 1 and Season 2. The second issue could be production. Now, of course, we know that Season 2 was pretty terrible when it came to animation and art style. And
I had no problem with the animation, actually. Besides Ren being side for Season 2, Ren, that Season 2 was excellent. I don't even care about the animation, because animation to me did not look bad to me. And at least to my eyes it didn't.
Of corrections had to be made during the Blu-ray release of ReZero. So the question is, will this be apparent in Season 3, considering they're adapting a lot of content? Also, if there is going to be a lot of fights, namely against the Sin Archbishops, this begs the question, will the animation be up to par? And furthermore, what will be the amount of CGI which will be used? Because those of you that watched the preview and you saw the bird flying in, if you looked at the buildings in the background, they were 3-dimensional, they were CGI made, and it actually looked like a PlayStation 2 game. So is that the level of CGI? Are we going to get Attack on Titan with the Beast Titan when it comes to ReZero fight scenes? That is something we have to keep in mind. In Season 1, the fights were fluid, such as Reinhard versus Elsa. We need to keep that animation consistent and fluid all the way to Arc Season 3. One thing to potentially keep in mind is censorship, considering that there are quite a lot of scantily dressed lollies in Season 3. This, of course, refers to Capella and Liliana. So the question is, will their costumes be changed, or will the fan service be toned down?
I'll say this again. I hate the censorships. in anime, this stuff right here does not bug me at all. I don't know why they have to censor some things, but it doesn't bug me.
So do keep that in mind. Now, we have seen this before with gore, namely in Season 1. You could only really see the gore in the Blu-ray sort of definitive edition of Season 1. So this could potentially happen in Season 3, where characters are sort of censored. There are pretty risky scenes with Priscilla as well, which I do feel like will be censored. All in all, from the leaks, we do know that White Fox is involved with animating Season 3, but apparently there could be some additional information tied to that. We haven't been given sort of confirmation on who's exactly animating it, even though we do know from the leak that it seems to be White Fox, and we don't know the episode number, so again, don't lean into misinformation. We don't know if it's true or not yet, so just wait for a confirmation. And we of course don't know when Season 3 will start airing. Hopefully it will be later this year. Anyways, that's it from me when it comes to ReZero Season 3. Are you guys hyped for Season 3? Because I am, because my favorite character, the profile picture of my channel, is Lewis, who appears in Arc 5, which is Season 3, so you guys will finally get to see her appear. So
you already know who my favorite character is.
By the way,
it's
just a reminder, don't doubt me when it comes to Season 3 hype. I told you it was going to happen. Some of you didn't believe me, but some of you did. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.
ReZero's
excuse me.
So there's a few things to cover, like ReZero Season 3 information, to Arc 5 and Arc 4 manga volumes, to also Kamikatsu delay, to Hell's Paradise delay, and yes, even Oshi no Ko gets a delay as well. And I'll talk about the delays in a moment, because I want to talk about the ReZero stuff first, because obviously I'm a huge ReZero fan, everybody knows this, and I know a lot of you guys have been kind of eating up anything ReZero related since we got that announcement like a month or two ago, or actually 2 months ago. It's kind of wild, it's already been that long. But anyways, let's discuss it. So this was posted by the official ReZero account talking about ReZero Season 3. Now, with this post that they released earlier this morning, there's not a lot of information to go on. For instance, there's no new information yet. The only information we got is that there will be more information given to us around, you know, on the 7th, like the 7th month, July 23rd. And so basically, we gotta wait over a month from now to actually, like a month and a half, 2 months from now, to be able to get more information on ReZero Season 3. But this post does confirm that we're going to be getting the cast announced, aka, you know, the voice actors who's probably going to be voicing new characters, probably maybe more of the staff, most likely the studio working on it completely, and maybe even a potential release date. But we do got finally confirmation that more information of ReZero Season 3 is indeed coming, and so this is good. Overall, this is great. One thing I will say, and I want to say it right here, right now, I think because of just, like, everything ReZero and, like, with the announcement and all that, the way they're going to give us information, like, if we get information this summer about, like, the release date to cast and staff, it's very likely maybe the series could air maybe either this year or beginning of next year. Now, I don't think it will. I don't really believe that ReZero is going to air this year, like Season 3. If I had to take an educated guess, like what I truly feel, I feel like ReZero Season 3 will air sometime next year. Like maybe in the spring season, at earliest maybe, you know, winter season. But sometime next year I could see Season 3 of ReZero airing. I don't really see it happening this year, because if it does, I feel like there's going to be some, I guess, production issues, or it's going to be rushed out the door, and I don't think any of us really want that, to be honest with you. But, yeah, anyways, mark your calendars. We're going to be having more information of ReZero Season 3 very soon, most likely an official announcement on studio, etc., which is good overall. I am excited to finally get that confirmation of, you know, who is all really working on ReZero Season 3. Now, moving over into the next bit of ReZero news, we had Ice here, which is a very huge individual within the ReZero community. He posted basically some drawings and stuff of the manga that is going to be coming out for ReZero, Arc 5, and which is technically what the anime is going to be covering as well. And I gotta say, I love the illustrations and stuff going on here. I mean, obviously they look a little bit different than like the anime counterpart, and even actually the light novel illustrations to a certain degree. But I do really like the artwork, and even though I don't read the manga of ReZero, I know that there is quite a few of you guys out there that do. And so if you are interested in the ReZero manga, clearly, you're not gonna have to wait that long until you actually get more ReZero manga content. So let's move over into the bad stuff. We had delays. Now, some of these delays are a little bit old news, like when it comes to, Hell's Paradise and also Kamikatsu. Oshinoko came out yesterday with this delay, but it's still really relevant because it is something that needs to be talked about. These series are all done, from my understanding, by different studios. Like, they're all 3 different studios. Like, for instance, Hell's Paradise is, Studio Mappa, and then Oshinoko's, Doga, I believe. And so, there's a bunch of, different studios working on these individual anime, and because of that, obviously, there is not a lot of correlation between the 3. But, surprisingly, all 3 of these series, basically in the span of a week, all got a delay. They all legitimately got delayed. Like, for instance, Kamikatsu will air, on May 31st. You have, the next episode, coming out will be on June 3rd for Hell's Paradise. And then you see, Oshinoko will have a special program on May 31st and will broadcast its new episode on June 7th. Basically implying that, Kamikatsu, Hell's Paradise, and Oshinoko, they're all facing some form of issues behind the scenes. Either be maybe delays or something else behind the scenes, but clearly to delay an episode usually means production issues, and obviously there was no public statement. Like, all 3 of these accounts, everything I could kind of dig up, there isn't any real information that was given, like no COVID-related reason or anything like that. But all 3 of these anime have, been delayed. And it's strange, because it's like, for this to happen, obviously, with different series, it just makes you wonder what's really going on. I mean, Studio Mappa obviously has been pumping out a lot of different stuff, and I mean, it's very clear that they're stretched thin, maybe, because of all the products that they're having to kind of work on. But it seems like we're starting to see a lot of cracks in different studios once again. I mean, this was something that we saw last season with a bunch of different anime that was just getting continuously delayed and all that. And Nier obviously is still in the gutter right now. We don't even know when that is going to return, which is just sad. I made a video talking about that literally last week. But back on topic, though, the point is that, even Oshinoko has been delayed. And it's like, when you think about just everything that, the latest episodes have been, it's like, wow, it's getting delayed. And it makes you worry, honestly, for the overall product, because it's like, what's happening? I mean, it's very clear that the staff and everybody that's working on it is very passionate. I mean, if you go to their YouTube channel, it proves it alone with just the different content that they kind of put out. But it's just like, I hope nothing really bad is going on behind the scenes for all these studios. I mean, it's kind of worrisome, because it's like, this is obviously just multiple back-to-back delays, and it's not kind of normal. So, we'll see. But, yeah, I guess I'll leave it at that. I just wanted to bring this to everybody's attention, because I know there's going to be a lot of you guys that are going to be anticipating a lot of these different anime for their episodes, and obviously they haven't come out yet. So, yeah, there's the reason for that. Now, one other little detail I'm going to throw in before I kind of wrap up the video, though. People have been wondering, when's the Pilon dance happening? When I wear the outfit. Don't worry, I ordered the outfit.
Skip. I don't want to hear about that, bro. The most evil ReZero character. Ooh, let me kick a guess. Isn't that clown dude?
Who is the most evil character in ReZero? Well, the result will of course shock you. 126,702 people lost their lives as a result of this individual, this villain. Most of you will initially...
Yeah, I hate that dude. I hate this dude.
Go to some of the antagonists of the series. Some of you will say Elsa, or you might even say a Sin Archbishop, such as the Sin Archbishop of Sloth, Beetlejuice. However, all of these villains pale in comparison to, in fact, the main character of the series, Subaru.
What?
Namely, the Purge King. For those...
Oh, come on now. Dude, he's not a villain. What? How is he a villain? What? What? I want him to explain this, but why is he considered a villain? What the heck?
Those of you that don't know who Purge King Subaru is, we need to sort of go back a bit and look at the alternative routes of ReZero that Subaru can take over the course of the story. As many of you know, the main route, the anime, the light novel, the web novel, all partakes in what is known as the Envy route of ReZero. Think of it as the main canon of what Subaru should actually be doing. However, what happens is the author Nagatsuki Tape likes to do these sort of spin-off stories of alternative sort of paths Subaru can take. And these different paths are represented by a different sin. Purge King Subaru is a creation which occurs during the Wrath-If route of ReZero. The branch occurs during Arc 2. Most of you know this scene very well. This is the scene where Subaru jumps off the cliff in order to go back and save Rem and Ram. However, it happens a bit differently in Wrath-If. Instead of jumping off the cliff to save Rem and Ram, Subaru doesn't realize that the people holding his hand was Rem and Ram. Remember, Subaru used to have nightmares when he was sleeping. The people that would provide Subaru with comfort was Rem and Ram, and they would hold his hand. Subaru never found this out, and therefore he didn't really trust Rem and Ram, and he took Beatrice's offer. Remember, Beatrice said, "If you want, I could help you escape." And Subaru takes her up on that advice, and he runs away. He runs and runs and runs, eventually being tracked down by Ram near the country of Gustico in the cold. Ram, of course, tries to strangle Subaru to death. However, she passes out before she could kill Subaru. And then Subaru picks up a large rock and smashes it across Ram's head.
Damn.
And with that,
the manga must be more violent than the anime.
So why is Purge King Subaru the most evil character in ReZero? And that's simply because he doesn't care about life. Similar to, say, the Sin Archbishops. However, with the Sin Archbishops, usually there's a reason for this, right? So, for example, if we take the Sin Archbishop of Sloth, Beetlejuice, we've seen what he looks like before accepting the Sloth Witch Factor and after accepting the Sloth Witch Factor. We know that the Witch Factor itself caused him to turn mad, and that's the reason why he acts so evil. It's not really his fault. He's mind broken, he's been deceived, he's been manipulated, he's driven to madness. However, Purge King Subaru is evil because he knows it's the most effective method. The reason why he likes people is because they have weaknesses, they have friends, they have families, they have things that can be exploited, like money. And Subaru will use all of these things in order to kill people. Doesn't matter who they are. If you cross Subaru, he'll kill you, kill your family, and burn down your house. That's how Purge King Subaru operates. Even Beetlejuice didn't go that far. Even Regulus wouldn't do that. But Purge King Subaru will. Even Subaru's most trusted advisors, Halibel and Cecilus, these were people Subaru wanted to kill, even though these people would die to protect him. That's simply because Subaru did not trust them. It didn't really matter who you were, Subaru simply would not trust you. After all, he trusted Rem and Ram, and what happened? They killed him, they tortured him. So why would he trust anyone ever again? Even near the end of the story, Subaru discards Emilia like a piece of garbage because he can no longer trust her. And it's because of this mistrust that Subaru will just kill anyone in his way, including his friends, including those who will protect him. I mean, in the story, he even killed Beatrice. And so why is Purge King Subaru the most evil character, even though there are other iterations of Subaru which are pretty evil, like I don't know, Pride Subaru? The reason is very, very simple. Pride Subaru is only an antagonist in Lagunica. His purpose is to make Emilia the king.
Huh.
However, that doesn't work the same for Wrath If Subaru. Purge King Subaru becomes the enemy of the world. This is actually stated. He is an enemy of the world. Not just Lagunica, but Wallachia, but Kararagi, and also Gastico. You need to realize that who showed up to stop Purge King Subaru? It was Reinhard. Does that seem a bit weird? Well, it is weird. Do you know why? Because there exists a law known as the Reinhard Law. This law prevents Reinhard from traveling outside of Lagunica. And where was Subaru's home base of operation? The Pleiades team, the organization located in Pandemonium, was located in Kararagi. Yet, if you've read the story, Reinhard shows up to stop Subaru. So the Reinhard Law, which prevents Reinhard from leaving Lagunica, was abandoned because they needed Reinhard to stop Purge King Subaru because he was the enemy of the world. There was no other option. Cecilus and Halibel was on Subaru's side. There
Very
was no one
interesting
else
video
that could
here.
stop Subaru. He was too strong. He was too powerful. He killed anyone that got in his way. So the only option was to abandon the Reinhard Law and get Reinhard to go kill Subaru. Not only that, Reinhard was not given a collar of submission, which would have limited his power. Reinhard was given free reign to travel to different countries to find and kill Subaru, which again goes to show how destructive Purge King Subaru was. And of course, the final most important thing to do with Purge King Subaru is one of the ways he decides on how to kill you. Most of you know that Purge King Subaru would always have a coin with him, and it's a very simple process to decide whether or not you live or die. Purge King Subaru would just simply flip a coin. Heads, you live. Tails, you die. It doesn't matter how well Subaru knows you. Doesn't matter if you get along with him. He'll simply flip a coin, and if it's tails, you die. And the reason why he does this? Because he simply doesn't trust you. Doesn't matter what you say to him. He just simply doesn't trust you. And that all stemmed from his time at the Roswell Mountain.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Did you know in Arc 2 of ReZero, in the web novel, that Emilia says that she will do anything for Subaru, including sexual favors?
Wow.
And Subaru, of course, is extremely excited about it. And, of course, Emilia starts breaking down in tears. Do you believe that this happened? Well, it did. And that's one example of some fan servicey elements which has been removed from the web novel. In this video, I'll be talking about all of the fan service from the light novel, the web novel, and of course, the anime. And I'm pretty sure some of these things will actually shock you that they exist. So if you're at anime only, this video will be safe for you because I'm only covering Season 1 and Season 2. I will also be covering the side stories around Season 1 and Season 2 of the anime also. The best place to start is, of course, Arc 1. Now, if you've watched my live streams, then I've already mentioned this before. Most of us know that Elsa is, of course, a sexualized character. However, did you know that in the light novel, namely Volume 1, when Subaru meets with Elsa, we have an illustration of Elsa. However, in this illustration, if you zoom in and you actually focus on her assets, you can actually see that her nipples are sort of protruding through her clothing, and you can notice that there are 2 small bumps on each breast. Now, of course, I'm zooming in so you can sort of see this yourself, but you can see there are noticeable bumps on her dress, which of course represent where her nipples are at. After Reinhard beats Elsa in a fight, we see that Elsa runs away from Subaru and states that she will of course come back and gut him later. However, what we find out in the Assassin Sisters' diary is that Elsa actually meets up with Meili, And due to Reinhardt's sort of abilities, this causes Elsa's wounds to not heal as effectively. This causes Meili to get some sort of ointment from a witch beast and have to smother it all over Elsa's naked body to heal her wounds. And we get an illustration of Elsa butt naked. I have to, of course, censor this because it will obviously demonetize me. So yeah, you can see it on screen. I've censored it. But this happens in an Arc 1 side story. In the Arc 2 web novel, when Subaru wakes up, he of course wakes up with his bathrobe on. However, we don't actually see how he gets into that clothing. We actually find out in the web novel that Emilia is the person that strips Subaru naked out of his tracksuit and redresses him. And that's a whole chapter in the web novel where Subaru's dejected about this. This is, of course, cut out in the light novel and the anime. Shortly after, we see Emilia outside, and this happens in the anime where Puck, Emilia, and Subaru spend time together. And of course, this is where Subaru teaches Emilia about exercising in the morning. However, in the web novel, it goes a bit differently, where Subaru actually trips over and slides underneath Emilia, seeing that she wears white panties. Emilia gets embarrassed and then proceeds to shoot ice balls at Subaru so he can repent. Again, this is something which is stereotypical in isekai anime, and it's cut out of the anime and light novel. Then shortly after, we get the scene I talked about at the start of the video. The idea that Emilia is so grateful for what Subaru has done in helping her get her royal insignia that she will do anything for Subaru. And of course Subaru is saying, oh, you shouldn't say that as a woman because people will take advantage of you. And Emilia again goes on saying she'll do anything, and apparently she uses extremely sexualized moaning. So some of the words she's using, stuff like apparently in Japan that's sexualized moaning. So Emilia is essentially saying Subaru can do sexualized things to her. However, she starts crying afterwards, and of course Subaru feels a bit sadistic seeing Emilia's demeanor. It seemed in the web novel, of course, Emilia was more aware of sexual things. Of course, we know in the anime version and the light novel, Emilia believes that kisses make babies, but in the web novel, it seemed that she was a bit more knowledgeable about the repercussions of sexual things. When Subaru questions Roswell, again in the Arc 2 web novel, Roswell, of course, doesn't really answer his questions. However, Subaru says that if Roswell doesn't answer, then he's going to sexually assault Emilia, which again gives a negative reaction from Emilia. And again, this is a real thing. It does happen. You can see it on screen. And again, this is, of course, removed like the previous things from the web novel. So you guys can see in the web novel, Subaru is a bit of a scumbag, and I'm glad it's being changed. At the end of Arc 2, Subaru and the rest of the cast play the King game. For those that don't know, the King game is where everyone will draw lots, and on the lots that they draw, there'll be a number, and someone will be the king. And the king will say something like, number 1, you have to do this. So the king's words are absolute. In the King game, Subaru gets other people to strip off their clothes, wanting Emilia to take off her clothing, and Subaru tells number 3 to take off their underwear. Of course, this backfires, and it turns out this gets other people to strip off their clothes, of course wanting Emilia to take off her clothing, and Subaru tells number 3 to take off their underwear. Of course, this backfires, and it turns out this is actually Beatrice. So Beatrice stripped off their clothing, and the king will say something like, number 1, you have to do this. So the king's words are absolute. In the King game, Subaru gets other people to strip off their clothes. Of course, wanting Emilia to take off her clothing, and Subaru tells number 3 to take off their underwear. Of course, this backfires, and it turns out this is actually Beatrice. So Beatrice has to go outside and take off her underwear, and then Subaru's really aggressive, saying, Beatrice, strip now! And it's pretty weird. On a small tangent, in ReZero Prophecy of the Throne, in a side route, Subaru also tried to strip Beatrice by throwing water on her, and trying to get her dirty so that she'd have to take off her clothing. Of course, he fails every single time, and the reason why he's trying to do this is to sort of repay a favor because Beatrice has helped him, so he wants to help Beatrice by like making her clothes or something. And so the way he wants Beatrice to sort of get out of her clothes is by making her strip. So Subaru goes out of his way to try and get Beatrice wet so she'll take off her clothes. Again, it's pretty weird, but you know, it's not the first time Subaru has tried to do this. In Arc 3, when Subaru meets Krush, apparently in this illustration you can see Krush's nipples. Again, I'm not too sure on this, but people will literally argue it to the death, so I'm including it. After the White Whale fight, Subaru goes back to the mansion to where Emilia is, and she actually is changing when Subaru and Ram walk in, and of course Subaru sees Emilia naked and changing her clothes. In Arc 2, I totally forgot to go over this, but I skipped it. But we actually have an illustration of Rem dressing up Ram, and again, we can see Ram in her underwear and bra, which again, you know, super fans of. In Arc 4, Ryuzu Meiya is depicted as wearing a white dress when she's locked in the crystal. However, in the anime, she's depicted as being naked, so I have no clue why they made this change. Likewise, there are other changes to some characters, such as Echidna. Again, if you've watched my live streams, you already know this, but Echidna's breast size has been significantly increased from the light novel to the anime. This also happened with Emilia in Season 2, and Emilia's breast size was reduced in the Blu-ray DVD, so again, I'm not too sure why they increased their bust size. Pretty much all of the witches have fan service, and Typhon, for example, her notable fan service is that her dress is actually transparent, so you can see here that you can actually see her legs, and again, I'm not too sure why they've done this, but yeah. In addition to the witches having fan service, most of you know this by now, but Pandora doesn't wear any panties. In fact, this was shown when episode 24 was released with this promotional image. However, they had to release a censored version due to the backlash that it garnered. Most witches have illustrations showing them in bra and panties. This includes Typhon, Daphne, and Sekhmet, alongside Frederica, but of course I'm not going to show you all of them, but you can find them on the ReZero wiki character pages. Of course, there's a lot more fan service than this, but I've only covered a small amount, and I don't want to get into light novel and web novel spoilers. I also omitted the fact that Priscilla owes Subaru a fondling, and Subaru is allowed to touch Priscilla's breast. But, you know, hopefully you guys have learned something new, and I'll see you guys.
What? What the heck? That is funny. That is funny. What? Wow, he does sound like a scumbag.
Welcome back everyone, Jake here again, and I want to talk to you today about the different echidnas in the series of ReZero. So this video will go through the different echidnas, and we'll have a discussion about the details of those echidnas and what makes them unique, as well as potential explanations to their actual actions. So of course, to start off, we have the echidna from the Tea Party. This seems to be a young version of echidna who's around 20 or so years old. She has a normal color scheme of black and white, and like many people with witch factors, she fails to understand the emotions of people, and she simply uses her intelligence to mimic those emotions. Now, one interesting thing about Tea Party Echidna is that she doesn't lie in her interactions with Subaru during their encounters, yet she says things which obviously contradict with information we know. One example of this is when she states that Volcanica destroyed her body, yet we can clearly see that Echidna's body is intact and nothing has happened to it. With that said, as stated previously, Echidna does not understand human emotions, and she simply uses her intelligence to pretend to act in a way that the recipient would like. So whenever she interacted with Subaru, for example, she acted in those ways to try and attract Subaru's attention. So she is emotionally manipulative in order to reach her goal of getting more information. Some people theorize that the Tea Party Echidna is actually a manifestation of the greed witch factor, which is why she doesn't understand humans and emotions. Let's move on to Omega Echidna. So for those of you unaware, at the end of Season 2 of ReZero, the Tea Party Echidna takes over Ryu Tsushima's body and renames herself Omega. She has a pyroxene crystal which contains the souls of the other witches. She cannot use their authorities or powers, however she does emit a miasma. I go more into detail on this in my Echidna misinformation video if you want to check it out. Either way, Omega Echidna is essentially the Tea Party Echidna who looks like Ryu Tsushima. However, she can use her miasma to appear as herself, which you can see on screen. And this is what she looks like to other people when she uses her miasma to alter her appearance temporarily. However, she does look like Ryu Tsushima. Omega states that she just wants to travel around and she will observe Subaru's actions over the course of the story. However, it also looks like she's trying to find a suitable sage candidate as well. The next Echidna we have is the Coffin Echidna. The reason for this is simple. Tappei has stated that the Coffin Echidna and the Tea Party Echidna seem to be different people, or at least that's what he considers. This is why some people believe that Tea Party Echidna is more of a witch factor version of Echidna, and the Coffin Echidna is more of the human side of Echidna. Some interesting details is that the Coffin Echidna is much older, with Emilia thinking that the Coffin Echidna was an older sister and could see the relationship between Tea Party Echidna and Coffin Echidna. Beatrice and Roswell also recognize Coffin Echidna as their master, so it again begs the question of why the Tea Party Echidna is so much younger than the Coffin version of Echidna. From the flashbacks we see, especially in the Choose Me episode of the anime, Coffin Echidna seem to place Beatrice in the library for a good reason rather than for an experiment. Coffin Echidna also helped Roswell when he was younger. One thing to note is that Coffin Echidna displays obvious emotions in her illustrations, so it does seem like she does have a human element to her rather than the forced fake appearance that the Tea Party Echidna displays. I'm now going to talk about some theories and information we gain in Arc 5 and Arc 6. So if you're anime only, I highly recommend you click off the video now, and I'll give you around 3 seconds.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, so moving on from that, everything I said was a lie. Of course, if you're a web novel reader, you know I want to talk about the last iteration of the Echidna, which is, of course, the artificial spirit, which I'll be calling Scarf Donor, because she takes the appearance of Anastasia's scarf. Obviously, the big difference is that Scarf Donor is a artificial spirit created by Echidna herself. We know that Scarf Donor felt like the purpose of her birth was completed the second she was born. This implies that Echidna simply created her as a potential test to see if she could create an artificial spirit. And once she succeeded, an artificial spirit Echidna was created, there was no other purpose for that artificial spirit, so she was left to her own devices. We know that Scarf Donor met Anastasia when she was young and is following Anastasia to see how she would develop and observe what she does as she grows up. However, there are a few differences that we see between Scarf Donor and the Tea Party Echidna. Scarf Donor does care for Anastasia and almost feels human, not wanting Anastasia to suffer or feel pain. We see this not only in Gluttony If, but also when Anastasia's legs get blown off by Shula. Scarf Donor states that she will take the pain on herself because she doesn't want Anastasia to suffer. This of course shows that she does have some form of understanding to human emotions, even going as far to apologize to Subaru when she realizes that Subaru wasn't trying to resurrect the Witch of Envy when Subaru showed that he could not mercy kill a half-dying Anastasia. Again, if you're a web novel reader, you know exactly what scene I'm talking about. Despite this though, Scarf Donor does sound and speak like the Tea Party Echidna that Subaru knows, and is one of the reasons why Subaru does distrust Scarf Donor. However, apart from that, they don't really display any more similarities beyond those characteristics. There is one elephant in the room regarding Scarf Donor. That is the fact that Capella has an interest in securing her and refers to her as the witch's legacy. This is something that it seems to be a sort of trend with Capella, considering she also wanted Typhon's remains. I find it strange that Capella has such an interest in an artificial spirit with no real purpose, but it also sees her as a legacy of a witch. So maybe Capella is just a hoarder when it comes to things relating to the witches. For those wondering, this exchange happens when Echidna first meets Anastasia back when Anastasia was young. One of Capella's children was tasked with obtaining Scarf Donor, and they subsequently failed. However, considering the trend of the series, it may be possible that this plot thread will be revisited in Arc 8 or Arc 9, or whenever Capella does appear. So in short, there are 3 different Echidnas, all with similarities and differences. The Tea Party Echidna fakes emotions and does everything she can to pursue knowledge. She's currently resurrected in the world, and she is observing the world whilst looking for a potential stage candidate. We have the Coffin Echidna, whose existence simply contradicts some of the things Tea Party Echidna has stated. We know that this Echidna is Roswell's mentor and Beatrice's mother. We then finally have Scarf Donor, an artificial spirit created by Echidna, which is with the Anastasia camp, and does display some human emotions and care for those that she deems worthy. Let me know if you want more information on other characters. Thank you for watching, and thank you to my channel members.
Very interesting video there. Well, alright,
Ren is pretty much synonymous with peak anime waifu. There's constant, almost annoying Rem versus Amelia arguments still going on, still to this day.
Yep.
So that begs the question, Why do people love Rem so much?
Rem's the
Rem
best.
is an insanely popular character in the anime Re:Zero. So popular, in fact, that when the trailer for Re:Zero Season 2 came out, Rem, who is pretty much non-existent in the story past the first season, is shown in the same frame as Amelia, the show's female protagonist. In a way, almost reminding viewers, oh, you remember Rem and Amelia, right? Who's your favorite? And I'm not gonna lie, I'm on Team Rem. I'm on the sinking ship, but only in the context of the first season. As the second season rolls along, I'm pretty sure Amelia will prove why she's the heroine of the light novel now anime series. But Rem is still a beloved character, and the reason why is because she's insanely well written, and her growth throughout the first season is a joy to watch. To further understand her relationship with the protagonist of Re:Zero, Subaru, let's talk about the gain-loss theory. Before we begin, let me just say that this concept is purely situational, it isn't the same for everyone, and lots of factors affect it. Also, if you're only listening to the video, definitely watch this part as it can get a little confusing. The gain-loss theory is a term coined by American psychologist Elliot Aronson. A theory of interpersonal attraction, it describes how increases in positive rewarding behavior have more impact on an individual than constantly rewarding behavior. In Aronson's study, we have person A talking to person B. Person B then goes on to talk to person C. What person B says about person A and positivity mirrors Subaru and Amelia's relationship. Let's do another experiment. Person A talks to person R. Person R then goes and talks to person H. And person R says person A sucks. Person A is trash talked, essentially. So that gives off a negative reaction, right? Person A feels bad because when talking to person R, they seemed nice, but now they can see how person R truly feels about them. And person R doesn't seem to like them very much.
おお、そう姉様に俺のことだからきっと花瓶を割る機会があるに違いないわ。その時のために花瓶の場所だけはちゃんと教えておくわねってな。
Days pass. Person A talks to person R, then person R goes off to talk to another person, and this repeats over and over again. But something happens. Slowly, the opinion person R holds over person A becomes a positive one. The more time they've spent together, the more person R has started to like person A. Now, this isn't a positive result. This is a gain. As y'all can guess, as I pretty much spoiled it, I'm talking about Subaru and Rem. Rem puts up a facade, right? She doesn't really care for Subaru at the beginning. And in one outcome, we see that she's willing to kill Subaru because she doesn't trust him. But slowly, little by little, she sincerely starts to see Subaru as a good person.
だから全部片付いたら話そう。喉が枯れるまでだ。約束な。
わかりました。約束しましたよ。
And here's where Aronson's theory comes into play. In the real-world experiments, the subject liked the person who slowly grew to like them more than those that liked them from the start. So in other words, there's a chance a lot of people see Rem's personal growth with Subaru as a gain outcome. The reason why certain people are more fulfilled with a gain relationship is because the triumph over hate to get to love feels a lot more fulfilling than being told you're loved from the start. So yes, while this theory is meant to be examined in a real-world setting, I think it somewhat also works when engaging with a TV show. See, in a TV show, a lot of the times the viewer will start to involve themselves into the show. They'll start to maybe identify as the protagonist, and this is even more impactful when the protagonist is written to be a surrogate for the audience. In Re:Zero, Subaru, shown to just be a regular dude, has values and aspirations, but can be rather cowardly and awkward at times. And this exemplifies a well-written surrogate character type. So we see Rem slowly come to like Subaru, but this also means that Rem actually has a character arc revolving around Subaru. Rem feels inadequate. In the story, she feels like she can't measure up to her sister Ram, and is living her life, atoning for her mistakes when she was younger, atoning for smiling when Ram's power was yanked away from her. Subaru helps her snap out of this, and this ignites a change in Rem. Rem starts to want to live with Subaru, for Subaru. Subaru being the character that started the frozen clock in Rem's heart back up again.
鬼と笑いながら来年の話をすんの夢だったんだよ。
So Rem becomes selfless. She'd be willing to follow him to the gates of hell, if need be, because she has an unconditional and unwavering love for Subaru. It would be Almost kinda sad, but the reason why it's not is because Subaru feels the same way. He would do anything for Rem, just like Rem would do anything for him. And that's what makes their relationship so powerful. You see this in full effect in the first episode of Season 2. Rem is essentially comatose. She isn't responsive. And what does Subaru do? He immediately kills himself. He does the one thing he spent the entire series complaining about, worrying about. He does a deed that brings him so much pain, and he does it with zero hesitation. And that's what makes their relationship so beautiful to watch. While Subaru doesn't really love Rem romantically, it's still a form of love.
Even though Rem does like him romantically. You know, I still don't understand why he chose Amelia over Rem. I'm so angry that he didn't choose Rem. You know, I was not happy when I saw that. Like, dude, come on now. Why'd you not choose Rem?
It's a relationship based on trust, a mutual appreciation, and respect for each other. And what makes it even more perfect is that they both save each other in the story. Subaru saves Rem from the guilt of her past, and Rem saves Subaru from the trauma of the potential future. The entire episode From Zero is easily one of my favorite episodes in all of anime.
スバル君が自分のことを嫌いだってそういうのなら、スバル君のいいところがこんなにあるってレムが知っていることを知ってほしくなったんです。
It's all about Rem metaphorically picking Subaru back up and letting him know that even though he feels worthless and like a coward, that's not how Rem sees him. Rem sees Subaru as a hero, her hero.
だってスバル君はレムの英雄なんです。
I love it,
The best
dude. I
scene of
love
Re:Zero
Rem in
isn't
this
some action
anime.
set piece. It isn't some shocking twist. It's the emotional connection Subaru and Rem have being reinforced by the two arguing and subsequently consoling one another. I love this scene. I love this series. I love Rem. And damn, holy, like, this scene still gets to me. Man.
It
This
does
scene
me
still
too.
Gets to me. And I think all of these things together contribute to Rem's popularity. All this, and the fact that Rem is just drawn cute as hell, man. Like, come on. Like, you can't say no to those eyes, dude.
Right?
OVA です。
Special thanks to Hollow Naruto 63, QWERTY87 Bro, and Kamikami, I hope I said that right, for the fan art. Y'all are epic. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you didn't know, I'm making an anime called Interstellar Ranger Commence. If you don't know what that is, then rip me. You can check out the trailer in the description. Special thanks to all my patrons. Y'all keep me moving. Y'all help me out so much. And now, it is time for the Patreon question of the video. I decided to choose this question by Jacob Juice. This dude asked, have you ever been obsessed with a certain film? That you read every story about the film that you could find, that you perhaps even bought some merchandise. I am at this moment obsessed with the film Apocalypse Now. So for me, I would maybe say, you know, something like Spider-Man 2, because I always bought the merchandise, or your...
What Subaru was experiencing this episode wasn't just hell. If it was, then he would have been able to handle it no problem. I mean, he was always fine being the only one who had to suffer. But to see so many different flashbacks of so many different people going through such excruciating pain, well, that was something that went far beyond any hell that Subaru could have ever imagined. Each showed Subaru one of his unforgivable crimes. And in almost all of them, there was more to it than what we were shown in the anime. Whether it be more reactions from additional characters, or even a more detailed showcase of Reinhardt's powers, there is a little bit more that needs to be said. So let's take a look at what we missed out from those as well as the additional stuff left out from the Witch's Tea Party. Let's begin. Episode 37, Witch's Tea Party, covering the last two chapters of Volume 12 of the light novel. As Subaru recalled the final moments of the previous loop, he couldn't even begin to imagine what was going through Amelia's mind as she went for the kiss, nor did he even want to. But despite how messed up the situation was, Subaru didn't regret that that was the last thing he felt. Her lips served as a grave reminder as to what happens when he isn't around to support her. Sure, that last loop may have had the best start by far, but if it meant leading to Amelia's mental breakdown, then Subaru wanted no part of it. So, before waking up Amelia, Subaru first resolved himself yet again to be the only one to suffer to achieve his goal. To him, it didn't matter how many hells he had to go through. So long as there existed a future worth grasping, then everything would be worth it. A very ironic statement considering the events yet to come. Now, as Subaru tried to make sense out of Roswell's actions, he came to notice that his motivations weren't that far off from that of the witches' cult. I mean, both tried to obey the words of the tome as best they could, but the methodology in which they did so differed completely. For the witches' cult, Betelgeuse only had incomplete prophecies to work with, so much of his plans were conducted on the spot with only vague descriptions to serve as the foundation. Roswell, on the other hand, had every single one of his actions dictated by the tome. His schemes within Sanctuary and even his death to the rabbits were all because that's what the book.
Yeah, this dude is a douche in this anime.
That forcing him to return by death was something that the tome had dictated as well. So, if Roswell's book was telling him to end the world or force Subaru into a situation where he had no choice but to die, then that made Roswell a far greater threat than Betelgeuse ever was. It also meant that he too was at the mercy of the tome. Subaru knew that there was nothing he could do to stop Roswell if his goals ended up straying from the path that the book desired. He knew it would almost certainly always lead to a restart. But despite knowing how futile his efforts would be, Subaru still resolved himself to find an answer that defied even this magic tome. So that's why he sought out the help of Echidna. If anyone was going to be able to help him find an answer, then it would definitely be her. But remember, getting invited back to her domain for a third time required a desire for knowledge far greater than ever before. He needed to yearn for an answer more than how he did when he lost his mind. The problem with that, though, was replicating a situation in which that was possible. To imitate a madness that stemmed from having his flesh being eaten away wasn't something very easily doable. It was much easier just to drop him right into the second trial. But, as we'll find out later, this wasn't something that Echidna had planned for. Bringing us now to Subaru's unknowable present. To give more context as to what exactly this was, Subaru's consciousness had essentially been removed from his body. He was put into a state of confusion similar to when his mind shifts from present back to past. But this time the only thing that remained of himself was his consciousness alone. At first, the experience of being this non-material existence brought with it a feeling of fear. I mean, suddenly having no arms, legs, or body really took the concept of phantom limbs to a whole new level. It was only after Subaru remembered the concept of a deep breath that he was able to calm himself. Once he did, he found that all that remained of his material self was his sense of vision, followed shortly after by his sense of sound, both of which brought forth the very first disturbing flashback. If you remember from my very first cut content, this death didn't actually take place outside in the courtyard. Instead, Subaru had taken the knife from Rem's bedside and killed himself right there. So this whole scene should have been inside the room that Rem was being kept in. Because it wasn't, it resulted in a few alterations that needed to be made, mainly with regards to a little bit of extra stuff omitted from the end. But before we get to that, let's first start from the beginning. As Subaru's consciousness started to make out the sounds and vision of Amelia crying over his betrayal, he found himself to be confronted by what he feared the most, the aftermath of his failure. Now, if I'm being honest, this whole scene actually felt a little bit rushed to me, much to the point that it made it lose a lot of the impact that I initially thought it was going to have. One of the reasons for this was that Wilhelm was much more emotional than what we saw in the anime. The other was that this was supposed to be one of many firsts for Subaru. It was the first time that he'd ever seen himself in such a state. It was also the first time that he'd ever seen Amelia grieve for him. But most importantly, it was the first time that he'd ever given thought to what happened after his death. This wasn't something he was ever supposed to think about. The worlds he left behind were never supposed to mean anything. All they ever should have been were midway points to the future that he desired. And the reason for that was actually very simple. To think about it any other way would destroy Subaru's entire world. It would invalidate his entire way of thinking. That's why he wanted nothing more than for the vision in front of him to stop. But since he was only a consciousness, he could neither turn his head away nor close his eyes. He was stuck seeing the results of his own failure all the way to the end. When Wilhelm rushed into the room after hearing Amelia's cries, his immediate loss of composure made Subaru even more distraught than he already was. It was the fact that someone like the Sword Devil had an expression of sheer dread on his face that shook Subaru to his very core. Wilhelm even had to take a few moments before finally realizing exactly what it was he was looking at. at which point he covered the wound and began to press Subaru's chest in an attempt to keep his heart beating. When Felix had stopped the healing magic, Wilhelm immediately began to question why. He still believed that there was more that Felix could be doing, but really he just hadn't yet realized that Subaru was already gone. Or rather, he didn't want to. So Felix had to make it clear that Subaru's soul was no longer there. It was a statement that made Wilhelm have an outburst of rage. He clenched his fist out of regret, then proceeded to slam it straight into the floor, splitting not only the wooden floorboards but also his fist as well. Now with a bloodied fist, Wilhelm could only look up towards the ceiling as he lamented over the loss of a dear friend. Felix, on the other hand, bore more a feeling of disgust as he could only interpret Subaru's actions as selfish. That was Subaru's crime. Although it was hard to make sense of the situation, the one thing that was made perfectly clear was that he had made a significant impact on all their lives. It was something he always failed to consider whenever he chose to leave them behind. Upon returning back to the tomb, we saw that Subaru began to speculate that this was part of the second trial. If that was in fact what this was, then Subaru was beyond terrified of having to face it. Yeah, sure, he had committed himself to facing hell numerous times over, but Subaru found that facing this unknowable present was something far more terrifying than hell itself. He was no longer confident that he'd be able to put himself through all the scenes of what comes after his death. I mean, how could he? This was, after all, the very thing that he feared the most. In the next scene of what lay beyond hell, as Subaru's consciousness bore witness to his second crime, Wilhelm had made an appearance shortly after Amelia. His body was covered with wounds after having fought many of the witch cultists, but that didn't stop him from inching his way closer to Subaru's body. As he did, he began to apologize to Subaru for not being able to save him. It wouldn't be wrong to assume that Wilhelm felt personally responsible for the loss of life in front of him. In fact, Wilhelm actually seemed to be even more impacted by this than how he was in the previous flashback. Both him and several of his companions began to shed tears. They were helpless to do anything but silently bear witness to the fate of the person who had brought them salvation. Every single one of them was a person that Subaru had fought beside, and each had made a promise to return to the capital together in victory. But now all they could do was weep over the fact that that was no longer possible. Subaru was in awe over the extent to which all these soldiers were affected by his death. But what brought the most anguish was the fact that this was a world where his devotion was never explained. Amelia would never be able to find out why Subaru had done so much to help her. It was a world in which his own weakness led to all sorts of things being left unfinished. That was his crime. When Subaru returned back to the tomb, his attempts to evade reality led him to roll around in a panic. He didn't want to have to face the crimes that birthed from his own weakness anymore. So he crashed himself into the sides of the tomb, all while his head scraped the ground and began to bleed. It wasn't the pain of the impact that made tears start to flow down his face, though. It was instead the idea that there were worlds that continued after his death. The very idea of this even being a possibility was enough to shatter the foundation with which Subaru had used to fight. Up until now, he'd always thought that it was him being left behind by everyone else. But now he was starting to think that maybe it was actually everyone else being left behind by him. Subaru wasn't so sure anymore. After the flashback with Ram and Beatrice, we then get to a lengthier one with Reinhardt, one that I'm sure that many of you weren't expecting. But in it was quite a bit of important information, stuff that gives more context to Puck's potential involvement with everything. So, starting from the beginning, the massive forest that once surrounded the Roswell mansion was now nothing more than soil. Puck had completely leveled the entire area, not just with his massive body, but also with raging winds that were now strong enough to knock over entire trees. When Reinhardt made his appearance, there were a couple of interesting things to note from the lines that ended up being omitted from the anime. Before talking about Amelia, Puck first spoke of how he knew that this would be the outcome. He went to imply that this was something he already knew was going to happen, which already is pretty intriguing all on its own. But then Puck goes on to say something even more revealing. Something that I think the anime decided to leave out on purpose and save for later. So if you don't want to know what it is, then feel free to skip ahead to the following timestamp. Anyway, what Puck says is that he also knew that Reinhardt would come and try to stop him, followed by the statement that Amelia could not be saved unless he froze the world, which, if I had to guess, was pretty much Puck's way of saying that he needed to force Subaru to return by death. It's the only thing that makes sense out of his statement regarding this being the only way to save Amelia. In any case, Puck's actions was something that Reinhardt simply couldn't forgive. They didn't fall in line with his standards of justice, and justice was the single thing that Reinhardt stood for. So he was left with no choice but to pull out his dragon sword, a legendary weapon left behind by the divine dragon from over 400 years ago. It was a sword that existed only to right that which was wrong. Now, because Reinhardt already knew how the battle would end, he made a promise that if Puck didn't move, then he wouldn't make him suffer. He was absolutely confident that he wouldn't lose this battle. So, out of pure courtesy, Reinhardt offered Puck a painless death. But that was a deal that Puck couldn't accept. It was for the sake of his vow that Puck felt he had to use every bit of life he had left to fulfill his goal. If he was to just roll over and die, then that would be the same thing as turning his back on his contract. So, Puck's only option was to fight till the bitter end. An end that was immediately met by a single slash of the dragon blade. As mana circled all around Reinhardt's attack, not only did the slash work to slay the Great Spirit in front of him, but it also reverted the area around him back to its original state. The snow that once blocked out the air was now gone. The ground that had only recently been flattened had now begun to sprout up flowers. The way Subaru saw it, Reinhardt's single attack had both ended the world and simultaneously brought about its recreation. It was as if no battle had even taken place. Not a single trace of Puck or his destruction was left to be found. The last thing that Subaru heard as this scene came to an end was that Lady Felt would surely be sad. It was a final whisper before Subaru went on to behold 8 more unknowable presents. By the end, he could no longer tell if he was back in reality or still in those nightmares. Although that's what he wanted to refer to them as, he wasn't even sure if that would be correct. To call them a nightmare would be to assume that they weren't real. But Subaru could no longer simply dismiss those visions as hallucinations. Instead, he wondered if they were perhaps genuine realities of what was hell beyond hell. He did consider the possibility of them being worlds created from his memories, but that wouldn't explain all the moments in which people were talking about stuff that he obviously didn't know before. It was for that reason that he couldn't fully deny their existence. As Subaru was having what was pretty much an existential crisis, all it took was a single sentence from the one he cherished most to bring him back to reality. A single smile from her face was enough to steer Subaru away from the dead end that he was rapidly approaching. But even then, that still wasn't enough to release him from the guilt of his supposed crimes. That's why he began to lay everything out to the person standing in front of him. He wanted that person to pass judgment over both him and the crimes he'd been committing. He wanted to be scolded and receive a punishment equivalent to that of the weakness that had caused so many others so much pain. But that punishment never came. Instead, Subaru was met with a gentle forgiveness that he felt unbefitting to receive. A forgiveness that, as we saw, implored him to give up. This was the one and only weakness that Rem would never allow, leading Subaru to expose Carmilla for who she was. Now, Subaru's sudden outburst of rage made Carmilla think that he was going to start hitting her, so she began to plead with him so that he wouldn't. Of course, Subaru was never actually going to do that, but there was no hiding the anger he felt towards this witch for the sly trick that she had just tried to pull. What pissed Subaru off even more, though, was the timid demeanor that Carmilla seemed to have. Everything from the way she spoke to the way that she carried herself seemed to irritate him more and more. The more angry Subaru got, the more excuses that Carmilla seemed to make. She was saying how it was Echidna's fault for making her do it, then talked about how everyone was always bullying her. But that certainly wasn't what Subaru wanted to hear. His anger and frustration grew as he genuinely began to consider trying to make this witch shut up by force. He just didn't want to listen to anything she had to say anymore. This was about the time that Echidna decided to make her appearance. But unlike how in the anime Subaru simply dismissed the fact that he'd been played with, the Subaru in the novels wasn't so willing to let it go. He refused to sit down and talk until an apology or explanation for Carmilla's actions were given. It was the least she could do after having essentially violated what was one of Subaru's own personal sanctuaries. Despite knowing the importance of the conversation he wanted to have, Carmilla's actions simply weren't something that Subaru could forgive without an apology. So, if Echidna was in fact the person who put her up to it, then she was the one who needed to meet his demands. It was an ultimatum that Echidna didn't seem to take all too kindly, but she knew that they would get nowhere without her saying at least something. So, rather than apologize, she instead began to pin all the blame on Carmilla. stating that everything Carmilla did was out of her own desire to do so, going on about how Carmilla went ahead and used the trial as an excuse to play with Subaru's emotions. This was the answer that Subaru was hoping for. He didn't want to have to bear any resentment towards Echidna. But even though this was the answer that Echidna gave, it still wasn't the truth. She pretty much went on to undermine the entire thing right after saying it, asking Subaru if he was satisfied now that he'd heard the words that he wanted to hear. You see, she knew that he was already well aware of the truth. Subaru just didn't want to accept it. He didn't want to believe that Echidna would do something so cruel. It's not like Echidna didn't regret having to resort to such methods, though. It just wasn't something she felt the need to apologize for. I mean, if she hadn't done what she did, then the trial that Subaru was accidentally thrown into would have worn him down to nothing. This was the conclusion that she came to after having watched Subaru go through countless iterations of trials she personally designed. It also brought forth a significant contradiction. Remember, Echidna herself once said that she never gets involved with the results of a trial. If someone was going to fail, then failure was one of the results that she wanted to know. So Subaru was wondering why she changed her mind. Well, Echidna wasn't so heartless as to not regret the result of letting Subaru's mind break. It was because of this that she did what she thought was best to prevent that. This answer slowly went to disperse all the anger and rage that Subaru had accumulated. There was no denying the fact that Echidna had just saved him. It's not like he was going to thank her for it, but he also wasn't going to hold a grudge against her either. Instead, the two just proceeded to have their tea party. Their initial conversation of the trial brought forth a bit more on Subaru's authority. Yes, the realities Subaru saw were nothing more than fictitious constructs, but Echidna couldn't confirm the principles under which return by death functioned. For all she knew, Subaru could very well have been shifting to parallel worlds after.
Isn't Re:Zero videos
perhaps
amazing?
even overwriting an existence of himself
Learn
that was
about
from a
more.
world where he was still
Like
alive.
watching these videos is literally teaching me more about these characters that the anime didn't do much of, but watching these videos is making me learn more about the anime and making me love the anime even more.
There simply wasn't any way to confirm or deny that branching planes of realities actually existed. So, to say that these worlds where Subaru had died didn't still exist, well, that wouldn't be correct. So, Subaru wasn't able to annul himself of his crimes just yet. He wasn't even able to confirm that they actually existed. Instead, he was stuck forever considering the possibility of what could be. Echidna could see all the pain that these lingering thoughts of doubt brought with it. So her recommendation was to simply break with the past. Leave all the crimes he's committed behind him and focus only on moving forward. They were words that Subaru thought were intended to console him. But consolation was neither what Subaru needed nor wanted. He wasn't so shallow as to allow Echidna's words to make light of every sin he's ever committed. But even so, Echidna still continued to try to sway him, using her words to counter everything that Subaru would say. Subaru believed that no one could grant him forgiveness, but the Echidna that knows his past says that she can. Subaru felt that no one could judge his crimes for him, but the Echidna that bore witness to each and every single one of them says that she will. Subaru believed that no one could approve of him, but if Echidna couldn't approve of the Subaru that was right in front of her, then instead she would reject the Subaru that won't forgive himself. She was relentlessly bombarding Subaru with words that tried to get him to resist. She wanted Subaru to cast aside his regrets so that he could keep pushing forward, the reason for which only became clear after Echidna offered to make the pact. Now, for Minerva to interrupt a ceremony as sacred as the creation of a witch's pact, well, that was certainly no minor issue. Whatever scheme it was that Echidna was planning, it had gone to trigger Minerva's rage. So, with two witches now simultaneously appearing in front of Subaru, Echidna had no choice but to explain the true nature behind their coexistence. As we learned in the anime, substitution wasn't actually necessary, but there was a specific reason as to why she only let one witch out at a time. If Echidna's soul was to be left alone with the soul of any of the other witches, then that would put her own self in danger. There was always the risk that another witch would try to defeat her in an attempt to take control over her domain. Using Sekhmet as an example, she alone was powerful enough to defeat not only Echidna, but also the 4 other witches combined. So, to allow her to be present at the same time as Echidna was a risk to her very existence. Or so she says. Echidna was speaking all these words as if giving Subaru the exact answer that he needed to hear. And Subaru was much too quick to accept these words without even giving them a second thought. So Minerva had no choice but to strike Subaru in the back of his head, giving him an impact that felt powerful enough to rip it straight off. Instead, though, it revitalized his entire body and mind, allowing Subaru to fully comprehend what it was that she was trying to get him to see. Specifically the parts about how Echidna's pact wasn't all that good for him. You see, Minerva knew quite a bit about how Echidna tends to treat her pacts. As the witch who's interfered the most in history and made the most contact with humans, Echidna had numerous examples in which her pacts didn't end in happiness. So Minerva wanted to prevent Subaru from falling into that same situation. Now, there wasn't anything wrong with Echidna wanting to tag along with Subaru on his path to the future. Her initial explanation of the compensation actually had Subaru ready to dismiss Minerva's warning, but Carmilla's words went to add to that extra layer of doubt. The thing is, she wasn't interfering because she wanted to help out Subaru. Carmilla just wanted to get back at Echidna for having deceived her. She was the type of witch that found it absolutely unforgivable when people betray her trust. In fact, her words were spoken with so much disdain that if Subaru hadn't been looking at Carmilla's face, then he wouldn't have known that it was her that was talking. It was also clear from the look in her eyes that she now bore a significant hatred towards Echidna. A hatred that even Echidna began to regret as having become the outcome of her little play. In any case, Subaru wasn't just sitting there listening to these two bicker. He inserted himself back into the conversation to demand that Carmilla explain exactly what it was that Echidna was hiding. If she didn't, then how would he ever be able to understand? Before that could happen, Echidna tried to assure him that doubting her now would do him no good. But that's when yet another witch entered the picture to become the mediator. Unlike the other witches, Sekhmet wasn't there to give Subaru a warning. She was simply there to ensure that no one resorted to force to get their way. If they did, then Sekhmet said that she'd step in and kill them. That was the purpose of her existence. That being said, to maintain the prospect of fairness, she did give Subaru the clue that allowed him to understand the consequence of making a pact with Echidna. As the author himself summed it up, if Subaru had gone ahead and made the pact with Echidna, then she would have used his power to witness every route imaginable. She would make him go through every possibility first before finally pointing him to the optimal future that he desired. It was essentially the same thing as saying that she'd make Subaru die over 10,000 times.
Wow.
All for the purpose of gaining knowledge on any and everything that she possibly could. That was the essence of the lengthy speech that Echidna had given him. That being said, there's actually quite a bit more to it than what we were shown in the anime. I mean, it's quite literally a massive wall of text. No paragraphs, no new lines, just continuous sentences. It really is worth the read though. So I'll see if I can leave it in the comments or as an image in the description so that you can give it a read yourself. It'll make complete sense out of Echidna's true intentions. In any case, her words were all that it took for everything that existed between herself and Subaru to crumble into pieces. It was far too cruel a revelation to know that everything had been meticulously set up just so that it could lead to this moment right here. But the final nail in the coffin was the stuff about Beatrice. One thing that the anime didn't mention was that Beatrice's initial purpose wasn't to watch the archives. Echidna had created her with completely different intentions in mind, one that perhaps relates closer to Sanctuary than we may think. But yeah, that's pretty much everything you need to know about episode 37. So I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about the story. And if you did, then be sure to leave a like or comment. Also, feel free to subscribe so you can get the notification of when I post the episode for the finale. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this type of anime content, then you already know what to do. So, until next time, ciao.
That was a very interesting video too.
In today's video, I've got 5 facts about Rem from the series ReZero / a character analysis video. We will be going over Rem's bio, abilities in the anime, her voice actors, her love for Subaru, and more. Now, a quick warning that there will be spoilers, so just a heads up. And for more weekly anime character facts videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Anyway, with that being said, let's roll intro and get straight into the facts. Rem is one of the main characters of the ReZero series, twin sister of Ram and a maid working at the Roswell Mansion. Rem made her debut in episode 4 of the anime and chapter 11 of the manga. Her birthday is on the 2nd of February, which makes her an Aquarius, and she is currently 18 years of age. Rem is a demi-human Oni who stands at 5'1", which is roughly around 154.94 centimeters. She has a pale skin tone, her hair is medium in length, sky blue and worn down, with her fringe swept over her right side, completely covering that eye. She wears a pink clip and pink flower-shaped ribbon on her left side, with of course her maid headband. As well as this, her eyes are a large bright blue colour. Rem of course is identical to her twin sister in almost every aspect except for her eye, hair and ribbon colour. And the most noticeable difference to us perv weebs anyway is that Rem has a significantly larger bust than Ram. Noise.
Yeah.
Attire-wise, Rem wears a maid outfit of the Roswell Mansion that is of course white and black in theme. Personality-wise, Rem has a sweet and professional manner. She speaks in a soft, polite tone, though she can let her emotions get the better of her and will act without thinking. Rem is an extremely hard worker and executes her responsibilities with perfection. Rem actually handles around about 80% of the mansion's work and leaves the other 20% to Ram, who is paired up with Subaru. Bossaru. Whatever. Rem has a mixed amount of feelings towards her twin sister Ram. All these feelings revolve around a deep love she has for her sister, but it is a cocktail of worship, respect, and guilt. Born in an Oni village as twins, they each received a singular horn each rather than having 2 horns individually, which is of course looked down upon in the Oni community, who believe in individual strength above all else. Ram of course excelled in her own power and displayed this by protecting both herself and Rem before they were executed by the Oni village, which of course shocked the entire community, thus allowing them to live, which of course wasn't heard of for twins in this village. Rem of course was inferior to her sister and spent, her life living in Ram's shadow, which formed, an inferiority complex, but despite this, she still idolized and looked up to her sister, though feelings of resentment did linger. This resentment did turn into guilt when Ram lost her horn, to which Rem felt, at fault, as Ram lost her horn protecting Rem from the witches cult attacking the Oni village. Everyone in the village was killed except for Rem and Ram, and it was all thanks to her sister that the two survived. Now, this guilt drove Rem, though in the moment that Ram lost her horn, Rem actually felt joy momentarily, but then guilt again took center stage as she has dedicated her life to being Ram's replacement, though she still has a very low self-esteem and continues to idolize her sister, and to this day, Rem still believes that Ram will always be the greater sister. Rem's Japanese voice actor is Inori Minase. She has voiced other characters such as Hestia in Danmachi, Itsuki Nakano from the Quintessential Quintuplets.
I still need to watch
Yoshino
that
Koirai
anime.
in Masamune Kun's Revenge, Sophia Asghar from My Next Life as a Villainess, and more. Rem's English voice actor is Brianna Knickerbocker. She has voiced other characters such as Philo in Shield Hero, Wiz from Konosuba, Kanao Suyuri in Demon Slayer, Alisa Ayase from Love Live, and more. In terms of abilities, Rem is skilled in water magic. Roswell himself has estimated that her skill is in the lower high category. Rem can use her magic for both offense and healing. She can summon water mana to heal the wounds of herself and others, but it can only be physical beings. In terms of combat, Rem has the same capabilities as Amelia. Just how Amelia can turn her natural fire attribute into ice, Rem also does the same with her water magic. Rem also has the ability to share her feelings with her sister through telepathy. As well as this, she obviously has the power of the Oni bloodline, in which she manifests a single white horn on her forehead and thus enters her Oni form. Her physical abilities are further enhanced through mana that is gathered from the environment. Because she only has the one horn, she is of course weaker than that of a normal Oni. Lastly, her weapon, this beast of a thing. Right, so Rem wields a flail called the Chain Morning Star, which is a deadly spike ball and chain that poor Subaru knows all too well. Right, so there is one thing that needs covering when talking about Rem, and that is probably the biggest anime betrayal known to man. The greatest and probably harshest rejection of our time.
Yep.
And that is her feelings of Subaru.
And what he
Natsuki.
said
To
no.
begin with, Rem didn't really think anything of Subaru and followed the thoughts her sister Ram had for him and would talk to him in a somewhat aggressive manner herself, up until the point where Subaru risked his own life to save that of hers. This had a major impact on Rem as she quickly developed feelings for Subaru, to the point where she had fallen in love with him. I say fallen in love with him, deeply in love with him, and is one of, if not his most loyal followers. Rem will stick with Subaru to the very end, even if Subaru was to reject her. Again. Poor Rem. They did come to a semi-agreement in that if Subaru could persuade Amelia, he would make Rem his second wife. But
Yeah, I
I
hope
wonder
he
how that
does
will go
that.
down. Now, this is where the spoilers coming for season 2. Subaru has confessed to Rem in the web and light novels, of course. However, Rem falls into a coma as a result of
Yeah,
battle
I hate it.
before Subaru manages to
hated
tell
when they
Amelia
did
about their multi-wife idea. Now, of course, the main question that lingers, are you Team Amelia or are you Team Rem? Let me know in the comments.
Team
But thanks for
Rem.
watching this my video. 5 facts about Rem from the series ReZero. Let
Team
me know
Rem
in the
all the
comments
way.
who you would like to see next. And I will
Team
give a huge
Rem
shout
all
out
the
to
way.
Warwick,
I'm just saying
Animates
Rem
22,
all the way.
Rem and Akumu for supporting me on Patreon. Don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoyed this video. Come hang out with me on Twitch during the weekdays. And subscribe for more anime content. Till next time, my fellow weebs. Peace.
Yeah, Rem's the best character. I know this dude has more facts on the other characters, I think. That's another anime I need to watch is Fairy Tail. You know what? I'm gonna save this page. This dude has some interesting videos here. Hey, even has some videos about other anime characters. Very interesting. And this dude does some awesome content. Totoko. I love that anime so much. I still have to watch more episodes. I think I'm up to episode 2, season 2. Yeah, I need to watch some more episodes. I might even do that later tonight when I'm done with the stream. I need to catch up on season 2. By the way, I have some videos of Total Kawaii that I made on my YouTube channel. Make sure you check them out and give them a like. I didn't like that anime that much. Ren and Girlfriend, I hate that. Dude, that anime was so bad. So cringy too. Oh, I wonder. Beatrice.
In today's video, I've got 5 facts about Ram from the series ReZero / a character analysis video. We will be going over Ram's bio, abilities in the anime, her voice actors, her love for Roswaal, and more. Now, a quick warning that there will be spoilers, so just a heads up. And for more weekly anime character fact videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Anyway, with that being said, let's roll intro and get straight into the facts.
This dude has a nice opening to his videos.
Ram is one of the side characters of the ReZero series.
You know what's so funny? She's a side character, where her sister's actually one of the main characters. Yep.
Twin sister of Rem and a maid working at the Roswaal mansion. Ram made her debut in episode 4 of the anime and chapter 11 of the manga. Her birthday is on the 2nd of February, which makes her an Aquarius, and she is currently 18 years of age. Ram is a demi-human Oni who stands at 5'1", which is exactly 154.94 centimeters. She has a pale skin tone. Her hair is medium in length, bright pink, and worn down with her fringe swept over her left side, completely covering her eye. She wears a blue or purple clip and flower-shaped ribbon on her right side, with of course her maid headband. Her eyes are a larger dark pink colour. Ram is of course identical to her twin sister in almost every aspect, except for her eye, hair, and ribbon colour, and, you know, the most noticeable difference to us perv weebs anyway, is that Ram has a significantly smaller bust than Ren. As well as this, her eyes are more slanted than Ren's. Attire-wise, Ram wears a maid outfit of the Roswaal mansion that is of course white and black in theme. Personality-wise, Ram is a lot more closed off and certainly considered as the more self-centered one when compared to Rem. Ram likes to do things at her own pace, as she and Subaru only take up 20% of the workload at the Roswaal mansion. Ram also tends to keep others at a distance. This is because of the previously mentioned closed-off personality, but also because she feels as if she has to truly make sense of a person before she opens up. If Ram doesn't truly feel certain that she can trust someone, she will act in her cold, aggressive manner that we have seen in her screen time with Borisu. Now, we know that she is of course fully open with her twin Rem, but there is another she holds in just as high regards, and that is Roswaal himself.
I hate
Roswaal
that
as
character.
the greatest, and she holds him as someone who is precious to her. Now, not above Rem of course, but still pretty high up on her not very long list of people. Ram has also gained romantic feelings towards Roswaal, who would also serve as a lifeline to her during
That
her
is
regular
weird.
mana infusions. Ram's Japanese voice actor is Murakawa Rai. She has voiced other characters such as Yui Kurata in Trinity 7, Tiona Hiroyuki
I love Trinity 7. That's a good anime.
from Danmachi, Bubble Girl in My Hero Academia, Onzu from Hinamatsuri, and more. Ram's English voice actor is Ryan Bartley. She has voiced other characters such as Rei Ayanami in Evangelion, Yusa and Misa Kurabani from Charlotte, Chimusuke in Konosuba, Makomo from Demon Slayer, and more.
Huh.
In terms of abilities, Ram is skilled in wind magic. She can use her magic to create wind slashes at super high speeds, create windstorms that trap her target in the center and then crush them against the ground, manifest wind blasts, and again create windstorms capable of crushing a person's eardrums. Ram's main power comes in her divine protection, in which she can share her own visions through wavelengths with people who are capable, which means that she can see at very far distances. The downside to this...
I wonder who's more powerful, Rim or Ram. I wonder who's more powerful. Because they seem pretty much equal, but I wonder who's more powerful than the other one. I don't know. I think they're both equal in my opinion.
Is though she can constantly switch between people, she is left defenseless when this technique is in use. Not only this, but her veins become much more prominent, her legs shake tremendously, and she also begins to shed tears of actual blood from one eye. As well as this, she obviously has a little of the power of the only bloodline within her, even though she has lost her horn. In doing so, it takes a humongous toll on her own body. Lastly, her weapon. Roswell created a wand for Ram to wield in combat that looks like that of a short cane. This wand is actually more of a conductor, as it helps her channel mana easier, so that it takes less of a toll on her. In her youth, Ram was considered as a prodigy, as she had an exceptional talent for mana control and manipulation, with an extremely powerful body to match this. Not only this, but she excelled in everything compared to her twin Rem, be it physical things or simply cooking. She was the pride of the Oni village, even though she was a twin born with a single horn. Despite all this praise, Ram never let any of it go to her head, and put her sister before any of the praise she was receiving. As we know, Ram eventually lost her horn and was taken in, as well as her sister Rem, by a passing mage called Roswell L. Mathers, without whom the twins would not have survived. What happened next, including a little more detail about what happened when Ram lost her horn, was all covered in my video for Rem, so make sure you check that out after this one. For a quick summary, what followed after Roswell saved the twins was that over the passing years, the twins would gain eternal gratitude for Roswell and pledge their loyalty to him. But thanks for watching this, my video 5 facts about Ram from the series ReZero. Let me know in the comments who you would like to see next. Of course, I want to give a shout out to Warwick, Animator22, Rem, and Akumu for supporting me on Patreon. Don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoyed this video. Come hang out with me on Twitch.
I wish I had a Patreon.
Subscribe for
I
more
really wish I did.
Till next time, my fellow weebs. Peace.
I wish I had a Patreon. Where I could make money.
In today's video, I've got 5 facts about Puck from the series ReZero / a character analysis video. We'll be going over Puck's bio, abilities in the anime, his voice actors, backstory, and more. Now, a quick warning that there will be spoilers, so just a heads up. And for more weekly anime character facts videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Anyway, with that being said, let's roll intro and get straight into the facts. Today's video is sponsored by Tappy2, the official and trusted place to read hit-exclusive comics from top creators. There is something for everyone, as their catalogue of beautifully full-colour artwork features all new comics in genres such as isekai, action, drama, romance, and more, with daily updates meaning new chapters every single day.
Interesting.
They, of course, have trial chapters, or you can sign up to dive deeper into their vast collection of comics.
Long as I don't have to pay for those, because on my phone I have a manga app where I can just read mangas of anime, and here's the best part: I don't have to pay for it; it's free.
really cool system in which you can buy tokens or earn points to unlock new chapters. Not only that, but log in every day and a new chapter will open up for you. I'm currently reading through a comic called Light and Shadow. This is beautifully written, captivating, of making you want to click onto the next chapter. The art style in this is fantastic, and I really, really love the designs of the characters in Eli and Edna. As for the story, Duke Eli is set to marry a noble lady. However, she was replaced by her servant, Edna. Now, there seems to be more behind Edna's reasoning, as she comes across as something more than just a mere servant. As well as this, there is also more to Duke Eli than the person he has shown himself to be. 100% would recommend, and if you want a title to start with on Tappy Toon, then Light and Shadow is the one. The link to download and try Tappy Toon is in the video description below. Make sure you guys use that link to try it out for yourself. Puck is one of the side characters of the ReZero series.
Make sure for the 2 people in this live right now, remember to hit that like button. It is your destiny.
He is an artificial spirit formerly contracted to Amelia. Puck made his debut in episode 1 of the anime and chapter 1 of the manga. His birthday is unknown, but we do know that he is 420 years old.
Damn, 420?
Is an artificial spirit who usually stands at 9.
That's old. That's very old.
Of a small cat with a long tail, often described as being both cute and adorable, and yeah, totally agree with this. His fur is of a light greyish silver and white colour, and has pink blush marks on his cheeks, which suggests that his skin beneath his fur is pink. His eyes are a bright aqua blue colour, though they are black in the light novel. He has very small white eyebrows, a gold earring on his left ear, and he sometimes carries a purple messenger bag with him. Personality-wise, Puck is described as a nice spirit. He is very affectionate and particularly happy when he is by Amelia's side. He is extremely protectful of Amelia, or Leah as he has pet named her, and treats her like a daughter, as he often acts as a father figure to her. Puck does have a complete flip side in scenes or routes we have seen in which Amelia dies. Puck goes on a wild rampage and claims that the world is absolutely worthless to him without Amelia in it. We have seen in Puck that it's not only Subaru whose world revolves around Amelia. Beneath Puck's overall personality, Amelia is the only one that matters, and shows complete disregard for anyone else but her. He also has a tendency to be really playful and is described as often goofing around. We have seen this a lot when he is around Subaru Natsuki. He also shares affection with Beatrice and gets along with her really well, but I'll go into this a bit later in the video. Puck's Japanese voice actor is Yumi Uchiyama. She has voiced other characters such as Mare Bellafiore in Overlord, Ichiko Oya from Persona 5, Meiko Azuma in Riddle Story of Devil, Nishiki's sister from Tokyo Ghoul.
Tokyo Ghoul.
English voice actor is Erica Mendez. She has voiced other characters such as Megumin in Konosuba, Raftalia from Shield Hero, Emma in The Promised Neverland, Nico Yazawa from Love Live, and more. In terms of abilities, Puck is able to use water, fire, and yin magic. Puck, as we know, is an artificial spirit who was formerly contracted to Amelia, and it's worth looking at the terms of Amelia and Puck's contract. I went through that in my video for Amelia, so definitely make sure you check that out. As an artificial spirit, his mana consumption rate isn't very good. Just like Beatrice, to combat this, Puck also has mana drain. Self-explanatory, but he can absorb the mana from any target he touches. And in Puck's case, he used to do this with Amelia, who didn't have any use for her mana until she remembered that she could actually use magic on her own. Again, just like Beatrice, Puck has a decursification in which he can detect and remove curses. Now, going into abilities that are, just Puck, he has Empath, in which he can read the thoughts or intentions of people he comes into contact with. Well, the surface of this anyway. Using this, he can also communicate with others that have an affinity for spirits, utilizing telepathy. Finally, the big one. Literally, Star Beastification is Puck's true form, in which he is a giant 20-meter golden-eyed beast of a cat, who is also known as the Beast of the End. Now, to maintain this form, Puck needs an incredible amount of mana, and to do this, he drains his complete surroundings by force, turning everything into ice. Right, next up we're going to look into Puck's backstory. It's pretty short, but unable to do so, there will be spoilers. So, most people that have read through the arcs will know this, but if you've only watched the anime, then heads up, spoilers. Around 400 years ago, Puck was created by Echidna, again, hope I pronounced this right, who is the Witch of Greed, who will transfer her soul into Louis Mayer and rename herself Omega. Beatrice was also created by Echidna, which gives us more information on their relationship, as well as a bit more clarification as to why they share a lot of the same powers. Puck actually had a vow with Echidna that forbade him from ever forming a contract with Amelia on his own. He of course broke this vow, as 7 years prior to the election he unfroze Amelia and began to act as her mentor and of course friend, father. They're close. As for the contract, Puck was on the verge of death, and in order to both protect Amelia and save his own life, made the contract with her, and as a result of doing so, Puck's memories from his past were sealed. But thanks for watching this my video, 5 facts about Puck from the series ReZero. Let me know in the comments who you would like to see next. Of course, I want to give a huge shout out to Warwick, Animator22, Rem, and Akumu for supporting me on Patreon. Don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoyed this video, come hang out with me on Twitch and Discord during the weekdays, and subscribe for more anime content.
Speaking of Twitch, I need to start doing things on there. Now, facts on the biggest piece of shit character in the series, in my opinion.
In today's video, I've got 5 facts about Roswaal from the series ReZero.
I don't like this dude. I hate this dude.
Roswaal's bio, ability in the anime, his voice actors, backstory, and more. Now, a quick warning that there will be spoilers, so just a heads up. And for more weekly anime character fact videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Anyway, with that being said, let's roll intro and get straight into the facts.
You know what? I might even start a series with this stuff, like facts about characters. I might even start a series about this on YouTube. There's a lot of videos I have planned for YouTube, but to start a series with this, I probably do it. I need to write down this guy's YouTube channel later. I'll do it now while we're streaming.
Roswaal is one of the side characters of the ReZero series and is, of course, the Lord of the Roswaal Mansion. Roswaal made his debut in episode 4 of the anime and chapter 1 of the manga. His birthday is on the 16th of September, which makes him a Virgo. Though his body is around 29 to 30 years old, his soul is actually over 400. More on this to follow. He is a male human who stands at 6'1", which is 185.42 centimeters and weighs 132 pounds. So yeah, Roswaal is tall and all around well built with long indigo colored hair. Roswaal is one of many anime characters that have heterochromic eyes. For those of you that don't know, that means they have 2 different colored eyes. My personal
this like my character from Jump Force does.
Is a good example of this. He has one blue eye, which is his right, and his left eye is yellow, almost similar to my personal waifu, Kurumi Tokisaki. Okay, so that is the end of it. He is a guy that isn't afraid to wear makeup, and he's described as having an almost jester-like look.
That is weird.
He wears purple makeup that includes lipstick and eyeshadow. Jeez. The left lid is further accented. Guy kind of pulls it off. Attire-wise, like mentioned, is the clown or jester-like look. He wears a small black top hat, a purple-themed top and bottom with a long cape with black and red boots and a chain around his right ankle. Personality-wise, Roswaal is most certainly a character. He has a very odd way of speaking and is described as flamboyant, and a man...
I can only imagine what his Japanese voice sounds like.
With a soul over 400 years old. His eccentric personality is actually one that he picked up from his grandmother, but there is another side to Roswaal that you really shouldn't cross. Now,
Yeah,
he
his
can flip
bad
the
side.
switch on his over-the-top personality into a man with an intense gaze, a sharp and calculating aura, a man with a more reserved and political sense of reasoning. Like mentioned, particularly in my video for Ram, Roswell was the man who found the two Oni twins after their village attack. He took the twins in and cares about them deeply, as well as holding them both in high regard as his mansion's best staff. Though he has such a close relationship with these two demi-humans, Roswell is unusually close amongst nobility. This has, of course, led to quite the nasty rumours suggesting that Roswell has a fetish for demi-humans. Roswell is also a man that is, proud of his family, particularly its crest, which is that of an eagle. He actually has a habit of putting his family crest into either possessions or clothes of people who live with him at the mansion. Now, if you look closely at the sleeves of Amelia's outfit, you'll clearly see these crests. Roswell's Japanese voice actor is Koyasu Takehito. He has voiced other characters such as Dio Brando in JoJo's, Jin Dojima from Food Wars, Papa Shirogane in Kaguya-sama, Kyohei Kanazuki from Data Live, and more. Roswell's English voice actor is Ray Chase. He has voiced other characters such as Yu Otasaka in Charlotte, David Shield from My Hero Academia, Fyodor Dostoevsky in Bungo Stray Dogs, Piccolo from Dragon Ball Super.
Ooh, I did not know he played Piccolo. That is cool, man.
And more.
Interesting.
In terms of abilities, Roswell is a mage who has the divine protection of sorcery, which makes him capable of using all 6 magic elements that include fire, wind, water, earth, yin, and yang.
He sounds like the Avatar, all 4 elements.
This divine protection, Roswell is considered to be the best in the entire kingdom when it comes to power, speed, and mana usage. He is that strong that people compare him to being as strong as an entire army. Other magic he controls are Ultimillion, which is a weather-changing magic, and he is also capable of flying magic in which he can float or, of course, fly through the sky. Poet. Not only does Roswell's strength come in magic, but he is also an amazing fighter when it comes to hand-to-hand combat. Roswell has a great knowledge of martial arts and tends to utilize throwing techniques against his enemies. Finally, we will go back to that yellow eye of his, just like my personal waifu, Kurumi Tokasaki.
He keeps on mentioning Kurumi.
Roswell's yellow eye is capable of breaking magic apart, which combined with his divine protection makes this guy pretty OP. Okay, next up we're going to look into Roswell's backstory. There may be spoilers here. Most of the people that have read through the arcs probably know this already, but if you've watched the anime only, then, of course, definite spoilers. So, around 400 years ago, Roswell became Echidna's apprentice. Echidna was pursued by Hector, and this forced her hand to temporarily go into protection within the sanctuary. In his search, Hector encountered Roswell, and the two entered battle. Roswell was badly wounded, and Echidna came to his aid and fought her pursuer. Now, the outcome of this fight is unknown, but Echidna survived, and, something we briefly mentioned earlier comes into play. So, how I mentioned Roswell's body was 30 years old, yet his soul is over 400? Well, Roswell was originally Roswell A. Mathers, and has been possessing his descendants' bodies in order to meet his teacher, Echidna, again. Roswell has been changing his middle initial for each of his descendants, and being at the current Roswell L. Mathers means that he is currently in his 12th body. Now, worth mentioning as well, while we're on the topic, is that these bodies he was possessing weren't only male. I don't know why, but weirdly nice. But thanks for watching my video, 5 facts about Roswell from the series ReZero. Let me know in the comments who you would like to see next. Of course, I want to give a huge shout out to Warwick, Animator22, and Akumu for supporting me on Patreon. Don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoyed this video, come hang out with me on Discord and Twitch during the weekdays, links are in the description, and subscribe for more anime content. Till next time, my fellow weebs, peace!
Yeah, another thing I'm probably going to do on YouTube is revealing the Dragon Ball manga. At least the mangas that interested me. You know what I mean? That's another thing I'll probably do. Like I said, I have some interesting ideas of videos I can do on YouTube. The only thing I cannot do is watch anime. And some other certain Star Wars videos I cannot do. If you guys want to watch anime, I recommend follow me on Instagram. I do anime on there. Also do anime on Twitch. Speaking of Twitch, I think I have a picture of my Twitch on my Instagram. I mean on my YouTube, sorry, my YouTube under community. Okay, here it is. That's my Twitch channel, King Cody 467. I need to start doing videos on Twitch again, like anime or whatever. Like I do anime. Like I watch anime on there. I do different kind of videos. Like the only two platforms I can watch anime is probably Instagram and Twitch. YouTube, no, I'll get copyrighted. I'll get copyrighted if I do anime episode reactions. Or if I react to a certain Star Wars video, I'm gonna get copyright. Or copyright claimed. So yeah, make sure you guys go and follow me on Twitch. I haven't done a video since April, so... and then my Instagram is down here somewhere. Even though I have more followers than that, but yeah, that's my Instagram page. Super Saiyan God 3 Rose King Cody, or this Super Ultra Instant Rose King Cody. Literally the same name as my YouTube. I do anime and other videos I cannot do on YouTube on there. So make sure you go follow me on YouTube and Twitch. Sorry, Instagram and Twitch. Yeah, well, it's like 1 o'clock a.m. in the morning. I'm just... I make some sentence mistakes after midnight, so... Yeah, forgive me. That happens at nighttime for me. Alright, let's continue with the Right Zero videos. This stream has been 3 hours. 3 hours and 7 minutes. Okay, where the frig am I? Over here? Okay, let me see if they have any more. They probably have more, Right Zero characters facts. Like I said, I'm probably gonna make a series of facts on characters of anime. Probably. I'm probably gonna do that. I'll make a series about it and other stuff too, of videos and series. Another thing I'll probably do is react to some Yu-Gi-Oh! Live action series, because there's a lot of good ones I wanna react to. Yu-Gi-Oh! Revelations of the Seal Conquest, Yu-Gi-Oh! Project Games, Prez Komori, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Excalibur. This character in, this character, how to, Rise of the Shield Hero, I don't like her. I really don't. I'm not gonna say it on screen, but she is that kind of a character. You know, Season 2 of Rise of the Shield Hero, it was okay. I think I like Season 1 a little bit better. I mean, Season 2 was still good, but not as good as Season 1. And I did hear they're gonna make a Season 3 of that anime. Another thing I'll probably do on YouTube is, like, when I'm done with an anime series, I'm gonna rate it. Like, I'm gonna talk about it and I'm gonna rate it. Like, I'm gonna rate it if it's good, bad, or just awesome. So, stay tuned for those kind of videos too, and more different gameplay as well. I think we did Subaru. No, we don't do Subaru. We did Ren. We did Puck. We did the other guy we just got done with. Subaru, I think I know enough about him. Maybe someday I'll do a video like all these other facts on characters. I'll probably do him another day in the series of facts on characters. But I want to do 2 more Raid Zero fact characters. The question is, which one? Beatrice, I'm probably going to do Beatrice. And let's do Amelia and Beatrice. Let's do Amelia first, and then we'll do Beatrice.
In today's video, I've got 5 facts about Amelia from the series ReZero / a character analysis video. We will be going over Amelia's bio, abilities in the anime, her voice actors, her contract requirements with Puck, and more. Now, a quick warning that there will be spoilers, so just a heads up. And for more weekly anime character fact videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Anyway, with that being said, let's roll intro and get straight into the facts.
Yeah, this guy has a good intro. Dude, I need to make myself an intro on YouTube. But it's kind of hard to make an intro.
Amelia is the main heroine of the ReZero series and a candidate to become the 42nd king of Lagunica. Amelia
more
made
like
her
Queen
debut in episode 1 of the anime and chapter 1 of the manga. Her birthday is on the 23rd of September, which makes her a Libra. Though she has the appearance of a 19-year-old, she is actually 115 years of age.
What? She's 150 years. What? Really? Damn, for a 150-year-old woman, she is looking good.
Damn. Amelia is a beautiful half-elf with a solid physique. Who stands at 5'5", which is roughly around.
I didn't know she was that old.
Centimeters. She has a pale, almost ghost white skin tone. Her hair is long, silver, and worn braided in a slight ponytail that reaches around her waist, with a white cross clip on her left side and a flower with a purple ribbon on her right. Her eyes are also a beautiful purple and blue color. Attire-wise, her main attire anyway, as we've seen Amelia in a couple of different outfits throughout the series and in the Frozen Bonds movie. Amelia wears an outfit that
I still have not seen the Raid Zero movie yet. That's on my list to watch. I need to watch the Raid Zero movie. I need to watch the Fate series movies. I know there's 3 of them. I need to catch up on some anime. I need to start new anime series. That way I can get more reviews out of anime for you guys on YouTube. I'll probably do a review eventually on Raid Zero Season 1 and Season 2. I'll probably go back and rewatch Season 1 and Season 2, and I'll come back whenever I go back and rewatch it and do a review on them. And other reviews on other animes I finished too, so.
Prominent white theme with purple highlights. It's a short thigh-high dress with long sleeves with gold and yellow emblems that expose her shoulders, and is worn high on her neck with a green jewel. Her boots are white, thigh-high, and have, again, purple highlights. She also donned that really cute overcoat that, matched the white and purple theme with the cat-like ears on the hood. Kawaii. Personality-wise, Amelia at heart is a very kind person that loves to take care of others and puts the feelings of these others before that of her own and will stick her own neck out to protect them, though this help is often met with negativity. Because of her half-elf appearance that is of course similar to that of the Witch of Envy, Amelia is also the victim of very harsh discrimination. This discrimination of course made Amelia hate her own appearance, so much so that she would avoid mirrors, though this was subconsciously. Puck picked up on this new mental trauma of hers and would remove anything with a reflective surface within her proximity, and this would even become a term in her contract with him that we will go over later in the video. Amelia is very stubborn and likes to think that she keeps her own feelings or burdens to herself as not to be selfish. Because of this, she avoids opening up to others and has set up a pretty big defensive wall. She has a lack of social normality and sometimes speaks in the same way you would expect of an older woman. This is because of her time in the woods where she lived amongst the other elves and eventually on her own. She also had this really cute childish side to her that would, instantly come out whenever she was faced with anything unfamiliar. Despite this, Amelia is a very quick learner and has adapted to her surroundings. Amelia's Japanese voice actor is Takahashi Rii. She has voiced other characters such as Megumin in Konosuba, Mash Kirielite from Fate's Grand Order, Rin Azuma in Isekai
I still need to watch
Competition,
that Fate series on Netflix sometime. Dude, I have so many animes I want to watch, so many anime movies I want to watch, as anime series. Dude.
Sugimura from Bungo Stray Dogs, Dead Apple, and more.
Dead
Amelia's
Apple. What
English
kind of
voice
name is for
actor
that
is
anime?
Kaylin
Dead
Mills.
Apple?
She has voiced other characters such as Yunyun in Konosuba, Yuki Nonika from The Testament of Sister New Devil, Alice in SAO.
Hey, I did not know she played as Alice in SAO. I did not know that. That is cool, man. Because Alice is my favorite character in Sword Online. No, wait. Sword Online, is it? No, wait. Yeah, Alice. Okay, I was about to say. Yeah, I didn't know she voices Alice in Sword Online. That is awesome, man. So, literally, she's actually one of the voice actors of my favorite character in Sword Online, which is Alice. That is awesome, man. I did not know that.
Carter from Sword Guide the Animation, and more.
Cool.
In terms of abilities, Amelia has the rare gift in which she can form contracts with spirits. She is of course contracted with several quasi-spirits and formally contracted to Puck. Puck broke his contract with Amelia, causing her pendant to shatter. Amelia carried him around in a crystal, but it wasn't pure enough to use him properly. She does eventually replace her pendant with a crystal with a higher purity, but Amelia has stated that she does not have enough mana to form another contract with him. Now, Amelia uses Puck and these quasi-spirits using spirit arts, in which her and Puck will alternate roles during combat, going from attack and defense between one another. Their attacks are all ice-based, in which they can form ice spears, form ice clones that can attack using magic, they can form ice shields and create mists that act as a barrier to hide their presence. She also utilizes the abilities of her quasi-spirits that can do things such as healing. Amelia is of course a magic user, and she could use magic way before meeting Puck, as she has an abnormal amount of mana flowing through her. Amelia's natural attribute is actually fire, though she converts this heat into ice, Todoroki style. As well as this, she utilizes ice brand arts and ice flower, which is, quite a beast, in which she can apply these ice flowers to a person's wound, and it will begin to suck the life force from them by sucking their blood.
That's brutal.
Right, so let's finish this video off with some Amelia trivia. Amelia loves crafts, but is very bad at art. This could tie in with how clumsy she is in her private life. Now, despite having her beautiful elf ears, these are actually tone deaf, which has resulted in Amelia being a terrible singer. Amelia's ideal woman or role model is Fortuna, and has actually picked up some verbal tics from her. Now, I found this one pretty interesting, but here is some of Amelia's contract conditions with Puck. He will be active only from 9 AM to 5 PM. Do not ask about his relationship with Beatrice. Do not look into a mirror or go near a large body of water. Do not hide the fact that you are a half-elf. He will choose your hairstyle every morning. Groom his fur regularly. Do some exercises when you wake up and before going to bed.
Wow.
Don't be picky about food. And talk with lesser spirits every morning and evening.
That is quite a bad contract.
To obviously address the Amelia versus Rem debate. I honestly think that both girls are solid, a top-tier waifu, and the subject is solely a matter of opinion. It's a very 50-50 split. But for me,
That's another thing I want to do on YouTube is like rank my favorite waifus in anime. You know Grim's gonna be in that list, right?
Of Amelia. Well, thanks for watching. This is my video. 5 facts about Amelia from the series ReZero. Let me know in the comments who you would like to see next. And I want to give a huge shout out to Warwick, Animator22, Rem, and Akumu for supporting me on Patreon. Don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoyed this video, come hang out with me on Twitch during the weekdays, and subscribe for more anime content. Till next time, my fellow weebs. Peace!
Yeah, this guy makes some awesome content. I would even say he makes better content than me. He's probably been doing YouTube longer than me. I just started doing YouTube, like this channel, this not even in October. It's not even been a year yet. It'll be a year in October. Chainsaw Man, awesome anime. All right. Hey, what's up, my friend? How you doing? Oh man, I can't believe I've been streaming for 3 hours. Damn. Okay, let me do facts on Beatrice from ReZero. It's good to see you in my live. How have you been?
In today's video, I've got 5 facts about Beatrice.
3 hours. What? Yeah, I've been streaming for 3 hours. Yep. 3 hours and 32 minutes. Wait, 3 hours and 27. Now, hold on. 3 hours and 22 minutes. Yeah, 3 hours and 22.
It's from the series ReZero / a character analysis video. We will be going over Beatrice's bio, abilities in the anime, her voice actors, history, and more. Now, a quick warning that there will be spoilers, so just a heads up. And for more weekly anime character facts videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, I know, right? 3 hours, yeah. Like I said, it's not my longest stream because my longest stream is 4 hours. And that was on Instagram many times.
And the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Anyway, with that being said, let's roll intro and get straight into the facts. Today's video is sponsored by Cacao Games, a developer of a next-gen MMORPG called Black Desert Online. This is a buy-to-play game where you only need to pay for DLC and updates once you buy it. To put simply, buy once, play forever, and all future updates are free. Even better, you have a 7-day trial of the game before you decide to purchase. Download link will be in the video description. Black Desert Online has one of the best next-gen graphics of any MMORPG games, as well as the best combat system currently available in its field, giving you an immersive, skill-based action combat experience. When you enter the game, you will have to choose from 19 different classes. Every class is of course good in its own way. Once you choose your class, you'll get into a character character creating interface. It's amazingly developed and beautifully detailed. You can change almost everything and create the perfect character, each with their own unique skills and abilities for you to explore and adventure through Black Desert Online's amazingly detailed open world in crisp HD graphics with no loading screens at all. Added good news is that the new season servers are open for 3 months. Unlike the regular servers, you're getting easy leveling with plus 100% combat and plus 20% skill XP. There is no forced PvP and the world boss health is shared with other regular servers. Receive more items with different events available for the season servers, and once the 3 months are up, season server players will receive a graduation cap and emoticon, as well as a high ranked item as a graduation gift. As well as this, Black Desert Online have recently improved their game packs for better value too. The link to download the game is in the video description below. Make sure you guys use that link to download or buy the game, and like I mentioned earlier, it's a free 7-day trial for every viewer. Nice.
I don't get why I have to pay money for some mobile games. Like, can you just make it free? Seriously. Fuck. What the frig? Stupid computer.
In today's video, I've got 5. When you enter the game, you will have to choose an adventure through Black Desert Lane with plus 100% with different events below. Make sure you guys use that list. Characters of the Beatrice is one of the side characters of the ReZero series. She is the caretaker of the library at the Roswell Mansion. Beatrice made her debut in episode 4 of the anime and chapter 0.
I do like her character.
Her birthday is unknown, as the author has said that her birthday is actually a spoiler, but we do know that she is over 400 years old.
Damn,
so
400?
Of a 12-year-old.
Damn.
Beatrice is an artificial spirit who stands at 4'7", which is 139
400 years old.
centimeters. She has a pale skin tone. Her hair is, for me, definitely her standout feature. It's long, cream in colour and worn tied in twin drill tails with pink bows and a small crown on her right side. The interesting thing about Beatrice is the phrase that describes her appearance is that it is set. This means that even if she tried to change her hairstyle, it would revert straight back to those drills, much to ours and Subaru's amusement. Her eyes are blue with pink butterfly patterns in the center. Now, attire-wise, Beatrice wears a dark pink frilled dress with pink ribbons, pink and purple striped tights, and pink shoes. Personality-wise, Beatrice is a legend, isn't she? For me, it is her personality that stands out and adds a welcome sprinkle of humor to the series, but anyway, she has this brat-like personality in which she openly looks down upon others, and truth be told, she does struggle when it comes to others, as she is bad at dealing with people. Beneath her crude looks and stubbornness, Beatrice is actually a very lonely person, and we see this after her guard completely drops when she shows affection to Puck. This affection for Puck isn't because of his fluffiness, but because she relates to him, and there are many similarities between them that has earned her favor above anyone else in the Roswell Mansion, and when I say similarities, I mean more than you think. Now, my most favorite thing about Beatrice is her verbal tick, where she adds Kashira, or I suppose, at the end of the majority of her sentences. Don't know why, it just resonates with me. Beatrice's Japanese voice actor is Arai Satomi. She has voiced other characters such as Kuriko Shirai in A Certain Scientific Railgun, Sayako Shinozaki from Code Geass, Shiro Yasha in Problem Children, Atomi Saotomi from Shimonetta, and more. Beatrice's English voice actor is Kira Buckland. She has voiced other characters such as Yuri Jihad in Tower of God, Rishia from Shield Hero, Kuruyuki Hime in Axel World, Ayumi Otasaka from Charlotte, and more. In terms of abilities, Beatrice is a master in yin magic. She is capable of casting spells that people had long forgotten. Now, there is of course...
I'm just letting you people know this is the last video for tonight because, like I said, we've been streaming for 3 hours and almost 3 hours and 30 minutes. So this will be it. This will be the last video because I'm getting tired and I need to do a couple things before I go to bed.
Of course, zero comparison between her and Subaru. Beatrice is just miles ahead. She can of course cast the same Shamak spell as Subaru, in which a person is unable to sense where they are, but are able to feel the ground and sense what is happening to their body. Unlike Subaru, Beatrice can use different forms of Shamak, where a person becomes unable to control their own body, cast an even stronger version of the original Shamak, where her target loses all of their senses, and can even cast a Shamak spell that sends its target to another dimension. As we know, she is the library caretaker, and such, she can cast teleportation and manipulation spells such as door crossing, in which she can connect the door of the library to any door that she chooses. She can also cast a spell called Infinite Corridor, in which she can create a special loop in which the target will wander a repeating hallway until they find the right door. Next up we have Murak, in which Beatrice can manipulate gravity. Even the lightest of jumps would be like a person jumping as if they had springs attached to their feet, and if Beatrice so wished, she could actually fly, though she would end up getting blown around like a leaf in the wind. Beatrice can create crystallized mana spikes covered in purple flames that are strong enough to penetrate most defenses. This is called Minya. She can also send multiples of these spikes into the air that will fly into different directions that will find and rip her target apart. As we know, Beatrice has decursification, in which she can detect and remove curses. Going hand in hand with this is healing magic, in which Beatrice can summon water mana to heal the wounds of herself or others. And just as she can heal, Beatrice also has mana drain. Kind of self-explanatory, but she can absorb the mana from any target she touches. Next up, we're going to look into Beatrice's backstory. It's pretty short, but in able to do so, there will be spoilers. Most people that have read through the arcs probably know this, but if you've only watched the anime, then definite spoilers. 400 years ago, Beatrice was created by Echidna. I hope that was the right pronunciation. Who knows? She is the Witch of Greed, who will transfer her soul into Louis Meyer and rename herself Omega. Beatrice was created alongside Louis Meyer, and they both referred to and respected Echidna as their own mother. Beatrice used to help Echidna with her experiments in things such as the Sanctuary Barrier. Though she helped with these experiments, Beatrice was never actually told the full story of what would happen to Louis, which was that they were to be sealed in a crystal. Later on down the road, Echidna ordered Beatrice to stand guard over the library and wait for that person. Any guesses whom? But thanks for watching this my video, 5 facts about Beatrice from the series ReZero. Let me know in the comments who you would like to see next. Of course, I want to give a huge shout out to Warwick, Animator22, Rem, and Akumu for supporting me on Patreon. Don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoyed this video, come hang out with me on Twitch and Discord during the weekdays, and subscribe for more anime content. Till next time, my fellow weebs, peace!
Alright guys, I'm gonna end this stream. It's been 3 hours and almost 3 hours and 33 minutes. I've been doing this since 11 o'clock my time, and it's almost halfway to 2 a.m. So literally close to a 4-hour stream. Thank you for coming by, everyone, and thank you for 7 likes on the video. I appreciate it. And I want more than 7 likes. When I upload this live stream, the goal for this video is let's aim for 12 likes. That will be the goal. 12 likes. If we don't get 12 likes, that's okay. But the goal of the video is 12 likes. Alright guys, have a good night or day where you guys are from around the whole world. Have a good night, day, and I'll see you guys on the next live stream. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. It is your destiny. And I'll see you guys next time. I'll probably come back sometime this week and do some gameplay and probably another stream. I'll see you guys then. Have a good night or day. See y'all. I'm tired. I need to do some things before I get ready for bed. I appreciate everyone coming to the stream, talking to you all. See you guys in the next.